Hello, everyone. This is week 2 of NUPL coverage. You probably have never seen week 1 because Keo is dead, dead in the streets, never to be heard of from again. And I have
We'll get
no
Rabbi to
clue.
upload it.
Yeah, eventually. And we might as well just put it out after the tour's over at this point.
Yeah, honestly, I think week one will save.
Um, but either way, we have week 2 here. And I do think that this week was quite interesting. There was a lot of weather this week,
A lot of weather.
and a lot of interesting things happened, such as in the Absols versus Talonflames, there was an SV sweep, um, for good reason, I would say. Um,
It, All right, Mary, what do you want to start off with?
uh, just, I mean, this game,
Yeah,
this we might as well just get it out of the way.
let's introduce ourselves.
We might
Oh
as well
no!
just
Oh
get it out of the
no!
way. The Saul's bug,
Starting with the low light of the week, aren't we?
the Saul's bug. We have a Saul's bug, and in this game,
So,
in this game, you're always like the Saul's bug has to lose.
but like this game, here's the issue with this game. Okay, as you're kind of going through it, like it's one thing to bring a soft book. It's another for both players to like. I'm sorry for flaming everybody. Like my game was also a disaster, as I think we might get to, but like it's neither player played this well. This was like a trip of a game to watch live. I remember it.
Yeah, this
Dude, when I
was
saw the Sawsbuck loaded, I just laughed out loud. It was just a comical moment for me.
okay. This
Uh,
Terra was good.
that was a good Terra.
I think that's about where the good place stopped.
I feel like that's the most I'm gonna Terra this turn
Yeah,
that I've
exactly. It's
ever
like the
seen
most
in my life.
like
Like
Yeah,
like you're either Terra Ghost, I don't know,
what the hell
like
is Solar Beam
power
doing? That's
Solar
kind of
Beam
cool, actually.
power.
I'm a
It
fan.
makes sense. Apparently,
See,
Tatsugiri
this turn, like
lives.
you just threw
This
away
turn was
Tatsugiri.
bad. Do you not just go Grimmsnarl? Because this is set up
You
Grimmsnarl,
do
surely.
just go Grimmsnarl.
And
Okay, but
then,
now we get to the really bad plays.
and then, we're
Trick.
about to watch Iron Thorns with +1 attack, Quark Drive.
Weepa
God, this
team.
game.
Now it's not
Spoiler.
So
+1
here,
attack.
if you pop mirror, the right here, this was the important play. I think we talked about it, before
Yeah,
we started recording. Stacking Incineroar to get the attack, defense drop, the attack drop was
The
a really
intimidate.
bad play.
yeah. It
Like
was.
All
there's
you
a
had
yeah,
to
there's
do, all you had to do was sack your Tatsugiri, then go Incineroar, then sack another Mon, and then you can potentially win. It's like
And
yeah,
the thing is, if later we see, if you go Salzbuck, it's not even sacking because it lives too.
yeah,
yes.
and you could, yeah, I don't know.
There's a lot of stuff happening here. A
Okay,
lot of
and then
stuff going on.
Rotamo, this crit's unfortunate, sure.
Yeah, but
I'll
it's a
accept
roll.
it, but it's like it's a
It's a roll.
roll. Well, no, it wasn't a
The
roll
funny part
after
about it is at
intimidate.
the end. I think, yeah, it wouldn't be a roll after a second intimidate either.
Also,
Um,
double edge here puts the Salzbuck into range of the second one.
I don't know if
crazy
it
play.
had Horn Leech or not.
It had to have something.
Or had to have headbutt, right? If you're, I don't
It's
know,
not. It's not
you're
going to be the
Chlorophyll.
Serene Grace because
Right, your
obviously
chlorophyll.
they're going to
Yeah,
use Sawsbuck to
and
try
then
and
they didn't
counter
click
stuff.
priority.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you gotta at least try to go for the crit. And then
Yeah, and
it was
then
a game. It was
it
a game.
it was a
I don't
game.
know, man.
And
It was a game.
you said Dread versus Stretch was a highlight for you as well.
I enjoyed watching that game. Even
But
though Stretch just rebuilt the BJ or Doctor PhD BJ team,
Yeah,
or just like used it.
this team is very similar. This was also
it
pretty
it's
much
the same team. I'm
Fish.
pretty
It
sure.
was Fish's week 1 team, but with a Reggie Steele over um, Kaparaja,
Which is, in my
which is
opinion, an upgrade. I,
the
I,
same
the
thing.
same
I,
dude.
But it has
I like
cost.
Same thing.
I do think Reggie Steele is pretty useless in this meta,
It's,
I
just
don't
it's
know.
because it
weird.
I just
loses
I
to Slowbro.
It's just because of slow, bro. Right.
If
I
you
mean,
can get a pair on Slowbro, you're one step closer to potentially
That's
beating
true.
it.
that's true.
That's true.
It's the same as
You
I
can
guess
only
it's the
use
same as
T-Wave. You can't
Kabaracha
use the Iron
using
Press
knockoff
stuff.
with
Knocking it.
Slowbro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everything
Yeah.
everything is just like little baby steps to trying to beat Slowbro.
Oh man, we should ban it. I'm happy we're suspecting Slowbro.
I'm happy we're in a
We
call
should have
with
got
three
rid of
people
Sun,
that
but
want Slowbro gone. I don't want to argue about this anymore.
no, it's
I'm
very
so
refreshing,
tired.
isn't it?
I'm so tired.
It's just
Just look at RU.
are you?
Yeah.
They're about
Just
to ban
watch
Slowbro
a
too,
couple
bro.
games of RUPO.
I haven't. I'll pull it up right now. Why
This
are you the like?
this red
Is
team
RU like
is
the
a little
perfect like?
interesting, but I don't really like eject button Slowbro plus
AV
AV
Reuniclus.
Reuniclus. It's pretty disgusting because like
I feel like
why are
if
you
you're
running
doing
eject
both,
button?
you should be CM Slowbro. I'm not quite sure.
I guess the reason for eject button Slowbro here is because you're so crocodile weak. Because your only
That feels like
crocodile
something that
switch
could be
is
solved
Noivern.
in the Bilber.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Here, I'm gonna pick a random. I'm picking a random RUPL
Okay.
game. Week 4, ZS versus.
This turn was
Raichu.
interesting. The earthquake predicting the Terra Poison,
Yeah, and then he doesn't go for Terra
and then he
Poison.
doesn't do it. I feel like Drud
Yeah.
kind of had to make that play,
Yeah.
but because this would have swept, I think. What is the Vileplume at?
The Vileplume is at 100 actually, so
Never mind. This wouldn't have swept. I don't know if you had to make this play.
yeah.
So looking at Torterra, who brought the cursed Amnesia Torterra this week?
That was Mata.
Okay,
Mata
well,
was the Elias. Oh, that was a
we
game.
can get to this because
that
Mata loses
game
this
series,
ultimately. Right? Also, you can tell that Mata is on the Talinit team because this is the Talinit set, 100%. I have no
We
doubt
have
in my
used
mind.
this set in Sun Moon ZU on various different teams. it's
such a
so
new set.
shit there. No,
Yeah,
it's
but
fun.
Why you're
But
still a
I-
ZUer, Danny, not an Inuor.
but you can tell it's a Talinit team because Talinit sees Amnesia on a Pokemon and all the dopamine receptors just go off in his brain and he can't help himself. He just has to put Amnesia on a Pokemon.
Wait, what did Rabia Georgia call?
And I
There.
bet
He just
I
did,
bet this
yeah.
Registeel was also Double Dance.
I missed that.
It's probably
You think
Rocks.
so?
It's the same team that Drud brought, but just with a different Torterra set.
Oh,
They
that's funny.
were talking about it after the game.
Yeah.
That's really
I never
funny.
watched this game. This set looks atrocious. Wow.
Yeah, so this
And
is,
Elias brought the most Elias team ever. And
I've never.
and
I
never punished.
So Gligar, Avalugg, this is crazy. I'm surprised there's no Jolteon on that team.
Yeah, try
right, yeah.
Yeah, this is literally a team that you could have loaded 4 months ago, except it has like a Reuniclus on it, and I guess maybe Registeel.
Is it Stall or is that a Specs Talonflame for no reason?
Yes.
It could be a
It
Specs
is both.
Talonflame.
It is Specs Talonflame.
Of course.
It
Like,
is?
this was a game, man. A game. This felt like you were watching a
No.
bunch of like
Okay, I don't.
1200s play on the NU ladder. Like I don't even know what was happening.
I
Well,
love the offensive
well.
pressure coming out from Elias's team.
Yeah, so I'm gonna
Look,
skip ahead.
But it's just Mata failing to break. Swords Dance Double Edged Mian Shao is pretty cute.
Yeah, I'd like
Cool.
that set, but is this Reckless?
No.
We'll
regen.
find out. Okay, yeah.
It's regen.
Then Double Edge isn't even that great.
It's cool.
Yeah, I
It's a cool
assume it's a
concept.
neutral to touch Slowbro, but I don't know.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I guess
but then
Terra Slowbro,
maybe.
but it's like
You might as well just knock. That was it was a game. It was definitely a game.
yeah.
Pointed
There's the
stones.
specs. Also,
Yep, specs talent.
Avalugg is so bad right now. I feel like
You just can't
it
do
has
anything
no
with the
uses.
slow, bro.
Slowbro is an issue.
Slowbro is a huge issue. I think it'll be okay once it goes, but like also
Yeah.
Avalugg is just a lot more exploitable than it used to be, and we also have another Slowbro effect is that we have so many special breakers that can just U-turn in.
Agreed.
Yeah, there's not really room for it right now in the meta.
Fight
Here's,
resist
Will be.
Gligar is pretty funny.
here's the Specs Talonflame that's gonna sweep.
Right.
Until it doesn't.
Yeah, okay. It lived on
This
lived
game
on
was
one.
crazy.
The
There
curse
was
on the
a
para, then the rest. And then this is just him trying to break but being unable to break Vapo.
Yeah.
was in that week too. There was also Gandra versus Quiz had another like I think both Pyro like a lot of Pokemon ended up at 1 health that game, right?
Hmm.
With that one or yeah,
Was that all of the
it was a
Talonflames
theme of that series.
games?
Yeah, it was. Okay, so we have Gondra versus Kuziel.
Yeah, if you want to check out that one, that was a cool game for the
Okay.
old heads.
I do think that this is probably one of the more interesting games of the week.
I mean, it's a good matchup. It's a really good matchup. I've never seen Quiz lose in ORAS. That's the truth. I haven't been around that long, but
I
I've
feel
been around
like
long enough.
I feel like a couple losses are expected, but he should go like 5-2.
Yeah, I mean, it's Pokemon.
Even now, he should go like 5-2, probably.
I asked ChatGPT what ChatGPT thought I was gonna go. It said 7-3. Pretty good.
Yeah, that
We'll
just
take
means you're playing in tiebreak. That's pretty good.
Oh no. It just means that ChatGPT has no clue who's in a pool and it just took a random guess.
That's true.
Earthquake Mega Mortar was pretty cool.
I don't think that's like necessarily a new invention, but
I mean,
it's very good.
have you guys felt like there hasn't really been like such entertaining games? I feel like in other NEPLs we had like, crazy games
I feel
and like
like
things
it's
happening.
There's been some fun games that I've been
there's
Oh.
been some fun games, but I feel like a lot of it's been a product of the meta, which is that the
It's
meta's
literally been 2 weeks.
the meta's been
That's true.
pretty boring, and yeah, it has been 2 weeks. But like I feel like everyone is kind of just like building really boring teams to account for everything.
Right. I was about to say everything is either weather or like, the same blob pink off like balance with Slowbro and Mian Shao and whatever else is on there.
Yeah,
I haven't felt inspired by a team yet, you know what I mean?
there's
Like
not.
that's what I'm missing.
I feel like the thing is all the creative teams are just some sort of offense.
Yeah.
And then like
Yeah.
balance is kind of forced to constrict, like it has to fit this mold of things that it has to beat naturally, and that's kind of limiting. I feel like
I kind
one
of
thing that we've seen a lot more recently is Rhyperior is getting a lot more use.
yeah, for sure.
I think Rhyperior was definitely an underrated Pokemon coming into NUPL.
Which is interesting because of the fact that it's used so much in higher tiers. Like it's
Yeah.
used a lot in RU and UU, and it's definitely. I'm pretty positive that it's rising with shifts.
Yeah, it's gonna go to UU with shifts. I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure, which is
You?
it does
Well,
make it interesting. Well, it's going to
it's weird that
UU.
this
It's
meta
going
we
to
have
UU
right now.
specifically because of Zapdos.
Yeah. And Torn, yeah. Like it's
Yeah.
just good in general in the meta.
That makes sense. I think it's really interesting that the meta we have right now isn't going to exist in a month.
Yeah,
Like,
it's going
not
to
even
be
a little bit.
it's going to be completely different, and I think
Good riddance.
yeah,
Facts.
but I think that a ton of lower tiers are going to keep stealing Pokemon from below them just because there's so many good Pokemon that just dropped because the metas were so ridiculous and so offensive. And now that everything has stabilized, people are like, Billy Bolt's pretty good.
We had a lot of Pokemon like that. We covered it last week in the recording that nobody's ever going to see. But, like, you just look through the P tier. I mean, Dellybolt, Borges,
Rotom forms.
Pretty good. Rotoms, Inteleon, Kilowattrel, probably Meloetta. What else
Meloetta's
is
pretty
viable down here?
Yeah.
I bet Slowbro Gower would be cool. Toxicity, Woach. Like, there's a lot of really interesting stuff,
I feel
lying
like
down in Pew that people haven't explored.
I feel like Wochian is gonna kind of be the new Blissey, the new
I
Chansey on teams where it's like,
think we're gonna see Avalog Wochin.
yeah, Avalag Wochian. Um,
I don't know.
I could see it, but it'd be a
Time
little
to
weak to
pack
fire
my.
types.
You know what
But
I think? I think Egie is good. I'll say it.
that's so brave
Of
of
course
you.
I
you
like
do.
Egie right now.
That's so brave of you.
Not a
I
surprising
know
take from Slice.
it's not a surprise, but like I was using it a lot in tests, but team's really bad. But I think the Mon's cool. People should use Egie more. I'm gonna advocate for it because we're not bringing it in NUPL ever. So might as well put it out there.
I feel like Eggy A definitely has merits, but it's like there's a lot of there's just not a lot of grass types in NU right now, where it's
Yeah,
like there's not a lot of competition in the same way. And most of them are
yeah.
defensive.
But you come in. What's really cool is you really beat slow, bro.
Yeah, you do really beat Slipper, or at least the sets that people are running right now.
Yeah.
All right, Diances are forever versus the MF Plumes.
So this
The
one
MF Plumes.
was a very funny series for various reasons, but
Oh man, this was so
another
entertaining
this was
from an
another
outside perspective.
this was another SV sweep, and then the old gen sweep.
Are we going to talk about that? How did you guys let that happen?
Uh,
Because I feel like
Here?
on the like on paper, I don't know. On paper, I feel like the Plumes are the worst team, right? And then
yeah.
it showed in the old gen sweep.
I don't think that the thing is I think all the old gens are like actually pretty solid. The only one that you would say you wouldn't like expect to do well out of this pool is Fiend.
Fiend, yeah.
Bambadoro is a little unproven, but he had such
No,
a
but
good NUCL.
Bambadoro's been around for a while.
He had such a good NUCL. I didn't even realize how good it was before scouting him, but he went like 5-2 or something.
Yeah,
Well,
but
for
like
what it's worth, was
NUCL
NUCL
is
necessarily the toughest pool? Like, was it
It wasn't the
the
toughest
best of the
pool,
best?
Do
but it
not
was
pull up mine or Danny's record
it's
in
not
NUCL.
like it's not like the DPP pool right now is like particularly hostile. You have Avarice, Manai, Haryana Grande, Jabba. Vivalos is probably the like Vivalos got number 1 on the PR, and it's like that's not like a high bar. And then
I
obviously
feel like, yeah,
HSO.
you can potentially see him succeed there.
You would see
This
Bambadoro?
matchup, this like Bambadoro, yeah.
I would
This
put him at the top
this
half.
yeah,
Yeah,
maybe.
for sure.
Yeah,
I
I
like
think
Bambadoro.
this matchup
I
was
like.
super interesting because I don't know. A lot of the teams that were brought in the current gen were really maybe a little bit flawed
Yeah,
from you guys.
Oh,
And then
I
in
would-
old
from the
gens, it feels like it was more of a I don't want to say skill issue, but there were like some clear
it was.
favorites, and there were some hacksy moments in the old gens.
Yeah, I feel like it went a little bit both ways because in current gen, it's like the matchups didn't leave us on a great foot, but a lot of there was like some lucky moments. The Rob one was just a coin flip, so I don't consider that lucky, but it's still like you have to get it.
Yeah. You had the toxic miss from Ishtar.
Yeah, but that was in old gens, so that was like we got lucky. We got a little luckier in old gens, so it
Yeah, but
evened out
you
over
also
the
had
series.
you also had Keo. You also had Keo timing out.
Yeah, but
You
that was
also
that's
had-
also his fault.
Yeah.
that is his fault.
Also, that game, I don't want to say it was over, but Wadley had a lot of tools to deal with.
Yeah, I
Yo,
think
and
the thing is, I think Wadley is favored. We can talk about this game. I think Wadley is favored in this position. So
Yeah, I don't. I
So-
just don't know what Mew does, right?
here
it. I think it was revealed to be plot after the game.
Plot Mew.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I was pretty sure it was plot. So, but what happens here is the Lilligant does damage here, and what will happen is Keo definitely has to go Palma on this turn.
course.
So
Yeah,
What
100%.
Talonflame is gonna do is gonna roost on the healing, on the
Well, you
revival
or do
blessing.
you or do you volt switch?
What does that gain for
You could
you?
volt switch, but the thing is, if this Talonflame dies, then
I'm good. Do you still have
Mew
Terra?
Then Mew
No, you don't,
Mew
cleans.
right?
cleans, and I don't think Palmot does 100 to.
Oh,
There's no way
okay.
Palmot
Wait,
does 100 to
Terra
Mew.
was exhausted, right? Yeah, Terra
Yeah,
was
Terra was
exhausted. Okay.
exhausted. So
Damn,
So
and
what
it KO'd
Keo
the
has to do is he has to revival blessing somebody.
he has a
Wadley
revival
can either
blessing, probably Ninetales, and Talonflame is
yeah.
gonna roost on the revival blessing, and then
You guys are
um
scarf locked into revival blessing, so you
you're
have to go
you're
into Ninetales.
you have to go into
Mm,
Ninetales, or you have to. One thing
mm,
that was being considered is that if Palmot takes the Brave Bird recoil here,
Mm-hmm.
it's
mm.
kind of interesting because I think that after the Brave Bird recoil, I'm pretty sure it's in Venusaur range. Um, and you can threaten with Ninetales. But what you really need is you need the Ninetales to probably you either need Palmot alive or you need Ninetales alive while the Mew comes
Mm.
back. And
You need Palmot alive more likely than not because
yeah.
you don't want to risk. I mean, you have a speed tie with Ninetales, and
Hmm.
I don't know.
Hmm.
It seemed pretty weighted in Wadley's favor, and Keo had to get a lot of things in his favor, like a sludge
Yeah.
bomb crit or poison or something, and then
And
I don't know.
Yeah,
this was
maybe
a
maybe it
turn
wasn't
where
as one sided as I remembered it. I feel like when I saw the timeout, I just kind of assumed that he had more of a chance,
I don't
but I
even
don't think
think
that's
this
true.
is in like for the Sun believers, people who think that Sun is balanced. This is not a game that's indicative of Sun being balanced at all. You look at the fact that how prepared Wadley's team is. You have Terra Dragon Star, you have Priority, you have Talonflame, and
you have the best priority if anything, because like in
yeah,
Rock
you have the
has.
best priority because you don't even
Yeah,
know like which priority it is,
Also,
right?
I do think that it's fair to at least assume that you're either gonna have a Talonflame or a Noivern on most teams, and
Yeah.
it's like that's a free fire resist that comes with most teams. If you're not running a spinner, then you're running Talonflame or Noivern on like 99% of like defog teams. So
mm.
it's like you at least have one fire resist, but it's like you had bulky Terra Serena with priority
Which
and
gets Ogoed.
I also feel
From
like there
Marley.
like this turn in particular, the overheat was a little
Hmm.
bit weird to me. I get why you want to hit the Dog before it swords dances, but I feel like Venusaur is a pretty easy click. Like because Scovillain can kill Talonflame from full, right?
yeah, the
And
thing
then
that's
Yeah,
interesting here is that on the play that Wadley made, going Venusaur was correct, but he could have easily clicked something else there, and
bro. Minus
Venusaur
two
can
overheat at 78.
yeah
yeah,
78
Literally,
to a resist.
it's absurd.
Um, but I feel like you risk the Venusaur possibly dying because if they go for something else and then Accelerock on the because it is Life Orb. That probably kills Venusaur, and I don't know if that puts you in a tough spot. I don't think it really does. I think you probably need the
no.
Scovillain alive so that you can Revival Blessing the Palmot into the Ninetales and get the Scovillain back after Lycanroc is dead.
Yeah.
Um, or at least,
Yeah.
yeah. So this is probably the mistake because you can go. I
I would
guess
have gone. I think probably Venusaur,
yeah.
right?
Venusaur is
Or
probably
Lil.
correct.
Nah, maybe Lilligant was going to be worse because Venusaur Sludge Bomb is still free.
I
I
was
think that
saying
you.
to
I
go
think you're right. I
Lilligant
think you
during the
do have to
game.
keep. Right,
Um,
because Lilligant, as we also see, can clearly live a +2. Um,
plus
you
two
can live a
Accelerock.
+2 a Cell Yeah, you go Lilligant because even if you sack it, then what? You go Venusaur and you just start sludge bombing and like this Lycanroc is dead basically and like there's not really switching.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
you get Scovillain online again with after the Revival
yeah,
Blessing, and Scovillain should clean. Um,
Let's look at the
yeah.
other SB games
The
yeah,
other
so
SB games, I don't think you're saying for the dances.
for this matchup. Yeah,
yeah, so
Ski
this
versus Rob was like an
I
HO
think Ski
matchup
Team
versus a
played well.
balance, which
Yeah,
yeah
it started off really well for Rob. I feel like Rob was in a commanding position most of the game
mhm.
and was like really pushing the boundaries. Like that double CC into Swampert was great. You don't need rocks as much in this matchup.
Yeah.
You just need the chip on Swampert so that Lucario or Crook can go well. Inteleon comes in U-turns.
Getting the chip
pretty-
on Inteleon is also
Yeah.
key here.
That's also key for Lucario win. Crook comes in. This turn was weird from Ski, in my opinion, but I
yeah,
get why. You wanted to prevent a bulk
you
up or whatever,
just-
but you have a Decidueye.
Yeah, going
Yeah, I don't know.
Decidueye felt like kind of free there. I guess you can expect the gunk shot.
That was a strong
I think
knockout
that was
from
I think
Ski.
that was a bad Mew too, because I think
Did you
Mew,
guys have Gunk Shot? Or you guys had Scale Shot? Or
we had skill shot, so we didn't have anything
Okay.
to touch the Decidueye.
Yeah, I didn't get that turn really at all from Ski. I don't know why you go over Uniclus. Like, you just give a free knock, but then you don't go into your knock absorber. Like, if
But
you,
really, the whole
at the
game
very
revolves
least, you
around this
sack
guy.
Swampert, which was useless, right? If you predict like a gunk shot.
I
You want
think
to see what's
so.
happening.
I was saying in the Discord, I think that this is a hard play to make, but I think that
The sword dance,
realistically, you have to sword stance here because sword stance wins the game.
I think people had mentioned that in the tours discussion where if you Swords Dance, you win.
If you
now,
sword stance,
on
you
what
win,
turn?
but that could also mean that Skier stays in there, knowing that sword
I
stance
feel
wins.
like
Oh,
But
on that
Inteleon's
turn.
also
The Inteleon
kind of
is
his
too vital.
icon. Yeah.
he doesn't Rob doesn't know that this Inteleon is scarfed, and it's the only thing stopping Dreadnought from shell smashing and clicking Terror or whatever. Like Decidueye can check it, but not if it's weakened by the other mons.
Right.
And so I feel like Sword Dance was definitely the play. Now,
Yeah.
also maybe he could be like, oh, okay, this Talonflame is obviously Terra Ghost, and so if I just get one strong E-speed into it, then I'll be okay, right?
Yeah.
But
Number
I don't
one,
know.
it wasn't Terra
surprised. I was
Ghost.
surprised he didn't. I was surprised he didn't E-speed at least and maybe
I was
try to go for a
yeah.
crit.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I'm
The
also
later
surprised
turns
at
are just
Decidueye.
like trying to break Decidueye and
Well,
failing.
the thing
I
about
was
it
surprised by
wasn't.
this
I don't
challenge
think
as well.
that the reason he stays in here is trying to break Decidueye. I think he assumes that the Inteleon is specs. I think.
Yeah, which I did too, by the way. The entire time I was watching the game, I
think what he assumes is that if he gets Dreadnought +2, he wins.
Does Dreadnought live a Specs Surf with Terra?
The
Doesn't
thing is,
matter,
it
that's
doesn't
speed.
have to. It just outspeeds. So he wants to get the Decidueye in on the Dreadnought in on the Decidueye. In a position.
I'm saying.
Which he does, yeah.
Oh, you're saying after Shell Smashes, yeah.
Yeah. So he wants to
Okay.
get it in on Decidueye so he can shell smash on the Decidueye.
Mm-hmm.
Because it lives on one, basically, yeah.
And this isn't low enough. So he psychics here, but he doesn't want to kill it, which is why he T-bolts.
Mm. Right, he needs to keep it alive.
He tries to keep it
Rob
alive, and he needs to
played-
keep it alive, and he gets it.
Rob
But-
played the game well if it was specs, and I also thought it was specs, and I thought that it was going to come down to a roll on the Dreadnought.
So I think Rob played as well as he could have with the team, because also
Did
this triple
Rob-
arrows
oh,
was
Rob
pretty
did.
bad, I think.
I feel like a Roost was fine.
Yeah.
Because what coverage could Dreadnought even run for Decidueye? None.
Yeah.
It's
But I mean,
stonewalled
like,
if you
I
roost.
guess the reason that he didn't roost is because he knew he had the scarf and Teleon.
Well, he knew he won, right?
Yeah.
You might as well secure your chip.
Yeah. So you prevent the double shell smash, I guess. But like you can
Mhm.
roost and then triple arrows on the next shell smash if.
No,
and it will
yeah,
kill.
but I like the way that he played it. I
Yeah.
mean, there's clearly nothing could KO him. Might as well, get your chip, secure the win, make it
Yeah.
impossible to double shell smash. Like if you roost there, things might get dicey. Like you don't really ever know.
Yeah.
I mean, it won't ever get dicey because you just triple arrows the next turn as
No.
they try and set up or they try and crit you.
You never know if there's like a random like ice thing or super crit or whatever happens. You know what I mean?
Okay. So this one was interesting. Because I've never seen this Bramble set. I assume it's not the set necessarily, but it makes sense. It's Banded Bramblecast, and off of 110 attack in this meta, it's pretty good because if you're not queuing into a lowland muck, which I don't think a lot of people are bringing right now.
No.
If you
No,
don't queue,
I
if you
don't
don't
like
queue
lowland
into
muck right
that,
now.
you can't you don't really have a switch in. Like
No,
Yeah.
not at all.
Look at
Even
this.
a low muck probably takes, if I had to guess,
Also, this is
40
part of
poltergeist.
why that turn 1 mattered so much, because this U-turn, this toxic sets it up so Brambleghast doesn't have to make any predictions the entire game. Getting Crocodile in is going to be free progress, because if this had lefties without toxic, then it would recover 12 off of this clicking Poltergeist and then having the switch. But like, this is just free progress. Just stay in here. And now I can't even switch into another Poltergeist. So
The toxic, like once you kind of saw that happening, it felt like the beginning of the end.
And we were
For sure.
discussing this before the recording. I do think it's important to note that, like, I mean, I disagree with the Crocodile stay-in for a number of reasons, right?
Yeah.
You know that you're not Scarfed Crocodile. You know that you're lefties. You know that Monkey Dory can run Focus Blast, and it also can poison you, right? With U-turn or any other move, right? So why risk that turn 1 just to get a knock on something, right? So it just didn't seem that far-sighted, right? It seems like he was thinking, oh, this monkey's going to switch because they assume I'm Scarf because I don't have much speed control, right? But you have to think, I need this Crocodile to win because it looks good into the team regardless of whether or not it's Bandit Brambleghast or not, right?
yeah.
I think in defense of Fish here, like
And
when
he
you
has
look at
2 switch-ins.
There are two
Dr.
switch-ins.
BJ's team, but like those switch, like you don't think Monkey does not look like Scarf here. It looks like Boots. You have 2 things that could act as forms of speed control, and that, like, you would never expect that U-turn in. Was it revealed to be Scarf in the end? What was the set on the Crook?
The Crook is
The Crook
lefties.
was lefties.
It's lefties stealth
So
rock.
here's where even though I get your play, here's where I disagree, because when you look, like, from Fish's perspective, I think that I would knock that turn probably majority of the time too. Just because when you're looking at the 2 teams and team compositions, it should be Scarf Crook, and like it should be Boots Monkadori. And
But
even
that's
if
not
it's not, like,
necessarily true.
but even if
Because
it's
Life Orb
not, unless,
Mienshao fits just as well here. Like,
well,
they're both interchangeable
yeah,
with the
except
roles of U-turn and
you're
Scarf
right,
and
you're right, but
speed
most,
tier.
but 80% of turns are going to be like that, and maybe you wouldn't take the risk on that, but
So if
me
it's
personally,
Boots, then
I probably would.
I,
Two,
I still disagree because it's such high reward to just get a kill on turn 1. If assuming it can be Scarf Monkey Dory, like, why would you ever risk your Crocodile when you have 2 Assault Vest Mons that resist its attacks?
yeah.
And
having double AV makes what Danny's saying.
I don't even think. I also think that, like, it's pretty known that like, most people don't like Scarf Monkey Dory. Like, I get the play. I get why you think it would be a bad play.
I don't think that's
Monkey Dory
necessarily even true.
Scarf Monkey Dory is pretty good, just because of the speed tier. It's like,
no, yeah. I think just the perception in general is kind of like it's mid.
yeah. I mean,
I don't know.
It's
I've
a
never
little.
seen that.
It's a bit mid, but the thing is, Scarf
Oh,
Monkey
bro, you got to
Dory
hang out
always
around Phantom
guarantees
more.
progress. Just because clicking U-turn on anything is a 30% chance, and you outspeed everything. So
You said Phantom says Scarf Monkey Dory is shit.
Yeah, so maybe I shouldn't listen.
I mean,
yeah.
I respect Phantom because he's my boy, but I'm not gonna listen to
I
his
revoke my statement. Ignore me defending Fish. Nah, no. I think personally, if I was in Fish's position, I'd probably knock.
I also think going
Damn.
Vaporeon here is.
That's why Fish lost.
We talked about it.
That's why
I don't
Fish
think
tried to make a Pokeslice play.
Yeah, I don't think going Vaporeon here is safe. I think you should probably just go Crocodile and sack.
What was the Reuniclus at when the Mienshao CC'd Vapo? Oh, it was at 4. Okay. Was it? I don't know.
Let me see.
That was a couple turns back.
Yeah, it was at.
He would switch in at 70 though, with rocks and poison, I guess.
Yeah, at 70.
What is Noivern at?
80.
Oh man, I feel like you had to go there instead of wasting your Terra on Vapo. That's like, I mean, like, that Monkey Dory is a threat. Now you just add another weakness to it. I don't know. Yeah. Like, maybe the Shao can make a play and U-turn there, but I don't know if he revealed Stone Edge or Triple Axle. It doesn't really matter, but if they call that out, then they're just better than you. Like, you got to go Noivern and
Well,
preserve your
it's
Terra.
fake out my shell, so I have no clue. It must be knock.
If it's
Blast.
fake out, it has to be knock. So go Noivern. Like, you already knocked
Yeah.
off the Talonflame, so
Why is it
BJ
fake
is
out, by the way?
incentivized. I don't
It's so
know. For
bad.
Sun.
I guess.
BJ is incentivized to, like, not keep hazards up as well. I don't know. Yeah, I disagree with that.
And then this just always wins. Just
That Terra felt like, oh, I'm trying to steal a kill, but not thinking long term again. So I feel like that's why this was a loss. Just short term thinking.
Definitely.
Maybe. It's. I think it's in a tougher, more interesting position than
the Master Chief Swino
seems at
game was
first.
pretty interesting as well. And then I
Yeah.
think
I like this game.
I don't know if we need to go over that game. That game, I mean, maybe you disagree.
maybe not.
I was
It's cool. It was just the end game.
Yeah.
Basically, Master Chief has like a
the
really
end
really
game,
good
the end game
matchup.
was interesting.
Yeah, I think
Uh,
so. This was a bad position.
This was an interesting turn.
But I think that definitely Team Charm has to make this play in some capacity, and it's like you can tell that the Wheezing or the Starmie is the most common response to the Doug trio here. So you get your Raichu in, Scald here, it burns. So this kind of seals the fate of this Raichu long term, especially going on the Psychic here, Life Orb, burn.
I feel like you don't. I don't know. It's just tough turns where like Copper is the least useful member on MC's team, and so he's fine sacking it. Sylveon can stall terrain, so you need that. So Wally Ground is obviously an immunity.
Nasty plot here makes sense because obviously
that was a good plot.
That guarantees the kill with Psychic, and obviously
yeah, that burn kind of messed with everything.
I don't really know why
Xatu came in. Yeah.
Well, I think Xatu coming in here is a little weird, but it is a speed tie, which is a little annoying.
I've played this interaction quite a lot of times from both sides when playing this tier, and it's just like I just think it's never worth it to try and go for the Xatu sweep from that position.
Yeah,
the Xatu sweep,
maybe if this Talonflame didn't have attack invest, it doesn't kill here, but
I don't know. I feel like I've watched a lot of Phantom games where like I'm like, oh, Xatu wins, and then like
we've talked about this turn
like
at length.
Yeah,
I think
this turn essentially is a weighted 50-50, right? Or it's not at all weighted. It's just a 50-50.
Yeah, it would be a 50-50 if the Talonflame was defensive, because what happens is on defensive Talonflame, Brave does under 50 and you belly drum, and that gives you Salic, which should mean that you win the game. I think that it's not that simple because Wheezing has Rocky Helmet, so you go Wheezing and you force that, but it makes Sceptile a lot more potent. Then, it's
Sceptile could not win with the terrain still inbound.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's why I felt like terrain was mismanaged. I'm not really sure what turn.
Well, okay.
So I think
on the multi attack versus Pincurchin, he could have gone Doug Trio and sacked it, and then switched in to something else.
Yeah, maybe.
If MC flame charges, then he still loses speed because of the tangling hair, and so it's like I feel like that was the better sack than sacking your terrain outright.
I think,
but that was pretty much the game once he belly drummed on the whatchamacallit.
Yeah, on the start.
Yeah, no, there was no route at that point. I think that
it was a 50-50, but I think that, or it ended up being a 50-50, but I think that because of its offensive Talonflame, it's never a 50-50 in reality because you do more than 50% to the Charizard. So I don't really.
Well, knowing that, then maybe MC should have Brave Birded.
Yeah, he should have Brave Birded, but I don't think Team Charm had any I don't think Team Charm could have known. For sure.
I think it was just a misplay of terrain. I think that he could have definitely still won.
Yeah,
and I think also maybe you have to have Xatu set up, on just later, trying to go 1v1 over there with the ball ground just wasn't the right route. Like you said, Danny, you have to sack the Doug Trio, then maybe go into I don't know, the Sceptile and but then you still have terrain.
If you sack Doug Trio, you're faster than Savali Ground and you can do it this way.
Yeah,
That's
And so
true too.
the thing.
because you,
When
you
you're
you force the volley ground out, you cosmic power on whatever they
Mhm.
go into, and then
Right, and
they
then you
have to
win.
try and go back to Savali ground to try and beat you. But rock slide is gonna not out damage. I don't know. It
Yeah,
it just feels
I
like
think
it was
the
a pretty easy Doug Trio sack that turn.
I think the thing about
Yeah.
it is that you're on this turn you're always guaranteed to get out with your Silvally alive, or not with your Silvally alive. Only your Silvally will die at the maximum. So even if the rock slide lands before the cosmic power, it does too much damage, and it'll kill the Zatu. Because look,
Right.
it does
That's what it's
83
such a
after the
risky
cosmic
play.
power. So I mean, maybe it's a roll, but it's still like it's still
I don't
close.
even think it
You
is.
can
I
die.
think it depends on the spread.
Yeah, but either way, the rock slide doesn't kill here, and this weakness policy activates. But MC can click U-turn here, which guarantees even on a roost, it's gonna kill. So I think that
Yeah.
using stored power here is correct, but using stored power here, I guess you're kind of hoping for the Talonflame roll, like on defensive Talonflame, because you know that this Starmie is probably spin looking at the team. I guess it could be default Talonflame. I'm not even going to think about that. But
Wait,
Yeah.
didn't you make this team?
yeah, I
Yeah,
made
but
this team.
they're
But
saying like in theory.
Oh,
I'm not going to use.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not going to use
No,
default
it's definitely
Talonflame.
not default talent.
But yeah, I think that's interesting. But really, I think that Team Charm played this game like okay, but sacking the Pinkirchen was probably the biggest misplay. And
I
Yeah,
think it was
I
just
agree.
came down to a miscalculation about terrain and like the
Yeah, so
capabilities
sacking the
of
Pinkirchen.
Datu.
Mhm.
Yeah,
And
that's just what it was.
I think the Charizard was the belly drum was a good play, but it was on a misinformed 50-50.
Yep. Were there any other old gen games that from y'all's matchup that was interesting
Well,
before we go to the next?
I thought that the Haze Up C game was pretty interesting. Um,
That
so
game, didn't
this
that game
game
end quickly? Or is that
it was pretty quick, but what happens here is this boom
Good
gets absorbed
Haunter.
by the
Yeah.
Haunter, and then
Pretty typical lines, yeah.
yeah, and then Haze Up subs here, and the Haunter booms. So
Okay.
no boom has hit yet.
yeah. Kind of funny how that works.
And then Haunter,
You go to Haunter to absorb spin or Mac Punch.
yeah,
Psychic
That-
doesn't kill. Oh, that's a crit.
that crit is interesting, but it ultimately doesn't matter. It just prevents C from switching out here, which she does anyways. But
HP ground.
I think it was HP fire,
HP
but
fire?
I don't know.
I don't think I didn't really understand a lot of these plays. That's the truth. Let me pull the game up. It was an interesting game. I like that no boom hit.
Yeah, so that
Oh
was
no,
a
I got
speed
my
tie.
games confused. Never mind.
Actually, I'm pretty sure no boom hit.
Oh, what was the right
Still,
Wow, that did nothing.
that did nothing. It's defensive Chan for sure.
Wow, did they have the same team?
It is very similar.
They're well. To be fair, like there's not really many mons in the tier.
I feel like there's some variety in ADV.
No, there is. Obviously, there's more variety than in a bunch of lower tiers. But like,
Oh no, they are not the same team. There's no way that the last is Vigoroth from C.
Lives the EQ. That's pretty wild. Oh yeah, booms on the sub again, but I guess this one is like slightly forced. And then this Hitmonchan just kind of
yeah, it was. I like ADV. I'm a fan of ADV.
I like ADV a lot.
I think there's a lot of really cool. There's been a lot of really cool games I've seen in ADV.
Okay.
All right.
Ooh.
What about the next series? Who's
Yeah.
next?
Okay.
So
So this is
these
the
two have been
Foxes
decisive
versus the
victories.
Stormhawks.
Wait, actually, before we go on, can we just point out, because I don't think we ever really mentioned it, the final score of DNC Plumes and kind of how it shaped up?
Oh yeah.
I
So
mean,
this was a current gen sweep by the Plumes, and I mean I think that honestly it ended up being pretty fair. I think that over the series we probably should have won one SV game with like the matchups and everything. Even still, you know how it shapes out. It didn't work that way, but the
From what I remember
Ulges
from
was
Shenjineer's
also
game, yeah, Shenjineer kind of put down Suku
yeah
and
that
played
game
really,
game
really
was
yeah,
strong.
not
Engineer played that well.
that game was I'm not gonna talk about that game.
I don't even remember what happened.
The most notable game from this series was probably the game that determined if this was going to be a tie or not. We didn't get to touch on it much, but it was Ishta versus Evigaro.
The thing
And
is, Sun Moon is always going to be a highlight matchup because everybody in this pool is literally
They're
like
all good.
they're all good. It's like five or six of them would be playing best of 3 if it was a slot.
yeah,
And it's like
Yeah, for sure.
which it should have been.
it should have been.
I don't understand why we decided for 4
And
SVs, but I digress.
instead the best of 3 slot is just SM. So
I would have
Best of
loved
three
to have
slot.
played best of 3.
okay.
That's
This
here,
is
I'm-
this
I
This
is
was such a turn, dude.
this is
That whole game was confusing. I'm not gonna
okay.
lie. I was not
I've
impressed
talked
by
about this
play.
afterwards. I think what Evie does here is she realizes that this is a bad matchup, and she goes for the play. But the thing is, Scrafty is the win con here. If Comfy dies, then Scrafty kind of goes in. So it's like
This is one of those situations where it's like Comfy's never going to Draining Kiss into a resist and 2 mons that take like 25, 30. And then
But it does.
I don't know. It's like that's such a
yeah,
such a
but it's like
negative momentum play to stay in my opinion, from
Yeah, and
Ishta.
it's
And
like-
so Evie just realizes that Ishta realizes that and then takes advantage of that.
yeah, but it's also like this team kind of loses to Comfy. So every time that Comfy comes in, I guess Tangela, it's like with Eviolite, Tangela still kind of can deal with it in some ways. And you know, you have Togedemaru, but Togedemaru is not a long-term solution to this. Other than that, you're kind of just praying to land a toxic.
Which did not go to plan.
Which did
I
not
thought
go
the
to plan.
the Tangela was such a good bring in my opinion. I liked it.
Tangola?
Yeah.
Yeah, we haven't really seen much Tangola, have
Yeah,
we?
the thing is, Tangela would have done really well into this Decidueye, but she doesn't even like account for SD in this case.
Which in during the game, during towards discussion, I'm like, this is Swords Dance Decidueye, this is Spin Blastoise, this is Pivot
But you see
Incineroar,
here,
maybe
like-
Swords Dance. Yeah.
Draining Kiss does 30 to Tangela, so it's like Draining Kiss staying in and Draining Kissing is not actually like that terrible here on that other turn, just because you kind of recover the HP back and then you reset for the next time you have to bring it in for Scrafty. You can kind of just play it safe. It is a momentum sink for sure, but I think Sigilyph can come in on a lot of other things, and it's like
Well, yeah.
when Sigilyph comes in, it kind of just clicks. So losing it this early was
Yeah, that I was not happy with those plays. I was very confused, personally.
I feel like if you were going to make a double expecting Tangela, because that's pretty much what it was, you should go to Instant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah.
And that was the best play in my opinion.
that was definitely the best play, and it still is okay on that Scrafty
Into
play.
Scrafty, yeah. Because Scrafty's never bulking up, right? Like, so
Yeah.
it's like you just, and it's never drain punching either. So like you go Instant, if they knock you off, it's like, oh, okay, whatever, right? Now I know how you're playing.
It
right?
kind of sucks to have a knocked in Sen, but you just
As you see later in
that's
the game,
better- that's better
this
than-
Instant got tipped so quickly. It's absurd.
Yeah, it did. Yeah, it was a good game, but it did feel like there was, especially at the very like the early plays were, I
Evie
don't want to
was
say
in control
bad,
for
but
the majority of the game in my when I was watching it. That's
yeah,
how I
Yeah.
I
interpreted
agree.
it.
It felt
And
like it was
Ishta
Evie's
felt
game
like
to
they were
lose.
floundering a lot, and
Yeah.
but they had a comfy and they had a chance,
But they had a
and a
comfy.
Decidueye as well. But
Yeah,
That's
I think the matchup was just so good that like Ishta didn't really have to make plays, and the one play that she made was not not
really, I
positive
didn't
for the
find the
matchup.
Maybe it was just me. I guess like in
The thing
retrospect, maybe
is,
it is. In the moment, I didn't find the matchup so great.
look at the Comfy matchup into Evie
That's
though,
true. The comfy did eat.
and also the SD Decidueye matchup because it gets rid of the one thing that like the main speed control she has is Miss Magius, other than Togedemaru, which
Mhm.
doesn't kill Decidueye very well. But like since it's SD, it kills the Miss Magius. Uh, you can Z on the Tangela if you need to. Um, and I also think you can break past Scrafty because this is DD Scrafty, so have it's not gonna recover
it
at any
was.
point. Yeah, I'm
Is it
pretty
It was
sure
DD
DD.
green?
Oh yeah, it
Are you
reveals it
sure?
at the end, doesn't it?
DD is standard in Sun Moon, for what it's worth.
Really?
I feel like
Yeah,
both sets are equally used from what I've seen, but
that's
Why
maybe
fair.
I've
is
seen
I
DD?
too
think
small of a
I
sample
think
size.
DD is used a little bit more, but really
Why is DD
this
used?
I mean, it's
DD.
Just because
good.
you want speed, right?
What are you talking about?
No, I meant like I'm so used to bulk up.
I think the thing is that you outspeed a lot of
That's the
things that
middle.
offensively pressure, like Sigalith. You outspeed after one DD.
If this was
Right.
DD, then a poison jab should have gotten clicked, or a coverage move should
Or
have
an
gotten.
Iron
Yeah.
Head or whatever,
Yeah,
I don't think it was DD because it wasn't. I feel like from this position, Evie would click an attack that is a knockoff.
I
Like,
thought it got
Yeah.
revealed.
yeah, I don't think it did.
I don't think it did either.
And I'm pretty sure it was bulk up, which I don't know if it should be, but uh, but I'm pretty positive that it was bulk up, and because if it was DD, like you click Iron Head there, you click Poison Jab there, like you're never clicking. I don't know,
Yeah,
and you
it
don't click
doesn't.
Drain Punch there.
Yeah,
Yeah, so like, come on,
yeah.
Yeah, true.
that
Maybe you're right.
toxicness really was pretty tragic, though. I agree. Because if this Comfy was on a timer, then
But
bulk up Scrafty won, and
no, the
that's like
toxicness is the
without
game
a doubt.
ender.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I don't think it's
Which
quite
is
over, but it is a much different end game.
what could Ishta do if the
The
if the
thing
Comfy's
the thing
toxic?
is you're
Nothing.
recovering so much from Draining Kiss that it's like a little weird.
You have no. You just lose any ability to defensively switch in. It's crafty.
I think that Comfy ends up being at 100 most of the time unless you go Togedemaru consistently. Because, like, let's say, I guess you sack Gastrodon here, Rocky Helmet,
And then Toxic Chip.
and
We're assuming
Toxic
it's toxic
Chip.
at
So
this
let's
point.
say
Yeah.
let's say it's at 40% here after the Toxic.
Scrafty. Then
It's like, I guess 40%, Comfy switches in, it's at, what, 10, and you switch in Togedemaru?
yeah.
And then it's down to how much the Decidueye SDUs or whether Ishta predicts. Actually, no, I don't think that she can hit and power ground in that case because she would die to Toxic. So.
Yeah. Besides the fact that this was the tiebreak game, this was still an entertaining game to watch. And,
Yeah.
It was a fun watch.
or the tiebreaker, I guess.
Yeah.
And then
It ended up winning us the week, but it was both Innovamania and Ishta were both playing for a point because it was 4-4.
Yeah.
Yep.
No, it's 5-4.
It was 4-4 before Innovamania.
and then
played.
Innova maybe.
Oh,
Yeah.
I thought it was 5-4 by the time. Okay.
All right. The Ninetales versus the Snorlaxes.
This series was pretty balanced. I mean, I'm looking back and forth, right, on the
Yeah, I think
on
we
the
already.
I think the interesting games was probably Sun, or not
Well,
Sun.
Rain.
I mean the Rain. Yeah, you know
Yeah.
what I'm talking about. The Rain one, the Twinkie versus Kushalos one from SV. Those are like the two most interesting ones.
I think that
Summarize the other
Damien.
two.
I think
Different.
the Damien game was a good showing for anybody who wants to learn why you can't break Vaporeon with a Scarf Rotomo and a Manti.
This game was only interesting because of the fact that there were a few resists on Stories' team, and Wave Crash goes. Brrr.
Yeah.
Yeah,
This was just the
Wave Crash.
first debut of Rain, I think.
It
So
was,
that's
I
why
think,
it was
yeah.
pretty interesting. In hindsight, apparently Stories had good Terra for Rain on the Belly Bowl, but it didn't import. But
Yeah.
what can you do?
That sucks, but it's like
Yeah.
I don't know.
Did it even win? I think Dragon would have helped.
The thing
Was what it
is,
would have been.
I don't know if she makes this play otherwise, but it's like even if that doesn't crit, Belly Bolt's at like 40. It's never switching into anything ever again.
No, I don't.
After,
I don't think she would have made that play if it was Dragon.
Yeah,
Right.
I think it was. I think she said it would have been grass, but I don't.
Grass or grass? Oh, grass. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, grass would have been. It would have been okay.
It would have been
Quillfish still looks
fine, but
insane in this
Quillfish
matchup.
looks insane, and Basque Legion still has clicks. Not going for the wave crash there.
For the wave
was
crash?
kind of interesting.
I think it was smart because you either flip turn on Noivern and then you get your rain back up, or you flip turn on Mew and then you can save a moment.
Yeah.
Or a crook sack, and then you don't want to take too much chip where you aren't able to wave crash again.
And then the scale shot is kind of interesting with Moxie.
I liked it, but the crook was at too low a health to get anywhere.
It
Like it was still in range of Aqua Jet.
Yeah, because it ends up
And
getting
maybe
jetted.
you could have made a play like, I'm gonna go into Noivern on Jet, but I don't see. Actually, wait.
Does Noivern get 2 KO'd by
think,
Jet?
Because the thing is,
Does
if you
Noivern
go
live
to
2 Jets?
But don't you still lose anyways?
It probably does.
But now you just lose. Now you just lose the Quillfish, right?
I would have to have a calc in front of me, but
yeah. So I'm gonna.
If you
I'm
live
gonna
2
look at the
Jets,
calc.
then it's a 50-50 if you attack straight into the Quillfish or if you just roost, right?
It's
Yeah, Wave Crash Okos, that we know. From 100.
But I mean,
Well,
that's a 120 base power move.
The thing is,
Right.
It was offensive, yeah. It was offensive, yeah. So we go Rain, Water, Terra.
Yeah, so Terra, Water, Rain, it definitely lived. It lived too.
Well, it was offensive. So it wasn't max HP Noivern.
Okay. But it still lives too.
It still lives too, okay.
But I think what you do in that situation is you still jet here, but if it's a hard Noivern,
you just go Quill.
You go Quillfish.
And then you Swords Dance if they don't attack you, and if they do attack you, then you just attack you.
Yeah, because if you get attacked, then you can come in and you can Wave Crash, and it just kills both. Or they roost, and you can keep it low with Quillfish, keep it low enough, or SD.
Mono Draco here, so
Draco, yeah.
I mean, but Hurricane is I hate Hurricane on Noivern. Maybe it would be more helpful in rain because there's a lot of rains popping up this week.
I do think this gunk into SD here is ultimately bad because this Noivern being at 100% is the only way that you lose, basically. Because I think that's
is it a roll?
Because
I don't think so.
Maybe I don't know whether it's adamant or not. I don't know how much defense.
Well, if it's Jolly, I'm pretty sure it still kills, and it revealed its spread. The Noivern revealed its spread.
Yeah, it revealed its spread. Yeah, I was looking at 252 because 252 is a roll, but
that's interesting. Yeah, those stuff. I feel like Adamant, you can afford to run Adamant because you're still faster than Scarf Mian Shao. I think you're slower than Scarf Monkey, though.
You're probably
props to Scarf Monkey.
You're also slower than Scarf and Teleon, apparently.
Very true.
have
This
just
game was
like-
interesting because first of all, that's my team that Twink is using that I use it in BLT.
Damn, you're a trendsetter.
Dude, and then 2 SS teams were mine too. Just saying.
Yeah, but
Uh,
the worst SS teams were yours.
Hey, you lost to one, so how about that?
That wasn't on purpose.
We'll get to that game
So-
soon.
This game was a pretty strong showing from Twink versus the Chef. I
That
think it comes down to this Inteleon set has a perfect matchup, and it just rides the lightning. Also, Reuniclus looks really, really strong in this matchup. You bring Wish passing Florges and Slowbro, and it's just like you can't do anything versus Psychic Noise and Energy Ball.
an ugly team,
Yeah.
man. That's the issue right now. But I've kinda
This taunt
noticed
was really
the
nice
the-
because the T-Wave was
Yeah.
probably coming.
the
here.
ugly teams.
Also-
the ugly teams are losing. That's just what keeps happening.
it's good that the ugly teams are losing.
Oh, I agree. I hate it. I
That
hate
crit
they
doing
do it.
so little is so depressing.
I mean,
But it doesn't
is a
matter
Florges.
Yeah. But Registeel also looks insane in this matchup, right? Like this is this type of matchup where I'm saying Registeel is better than Copper because
think
you
so?
knock off the Slowbro, what do? Like you knock off the Slowbro, it's not as good as getting a T-Wave on two potential Mons, right?
Yeah.
And because I mean it's the yellow magic, it's broken, right? So if this was Calm Mind, I don't know if it was
Nope.
Covert Cloak, I don't remember.
well, the thing is, this definitely is.
Oh no, it
covert.
revealed T-Wave. Never mind. Yeah.
But the thing
So
is,
it was a
Kushlis
bad
is running
Slowbro set.
the bad Slowbro. I don't think that he. I was watching this game and I was like, he doesn't know. He doesn't know.
Which he should know because he's played RU.
No,
and
he should know.
It's like
and
it's
But
like
you're right. If it was Calm Mind, this game I feel like is a little bit different.
the thing is.
what's interesting is that it's not even Calm Mind Florges. It's revealed later that it's double healing. I mean, it might still be Calm Mind last Mono Moonblast, but
No, it's definitely Protect. Right?
No.
There's
no, it's if it's
choices.
Synthesis Wish, it's not Protect, bro. It's gonna be CM last, but that's I don't know. I feel like if you're gonna run CM Florges, run 2 attacks Synthesis.
with
Yeah,
Psychic
right?
Noise.
Like- Psychic Noise, yeah. And if you're gonna run Wish past Florges, I don't know. Don't do that.
Don't.
Yeah. Just run Sylveon instead.
Exactly. Magnezone looked pretty good in this matchup, as it always does, but AV Reuniclus, an immunity, and a Registeel.
Magnesone's never going to be useless. I do think,
Of course.
at least running Slowbro with T-Wave in RU is like, T-Wave is even more broken in RU. So it's like, sure. And also,
Wow, what's happening in RU that makes?
It's Jirachi, you wanted Cripple with Cyclizar.
Yeah, okay. That sounds really toxic, and I'm surprised they haven't PR threaded to ban.
Jirachi's not even close to broken in RU, surprisingly.
yeah, it's
It
not.
has Serene Grace Ironhead, Danny. Please stop the cap.
Bro, I'm
Yeah,
telling you.
Wait
it's
till
not
all
the
you
biggest
hears
threat.
about Serene Grace Ironhead plus T-Wave. It's gonna be over.
Yeah, but this team is pretty gross.
It is. Fish brought
Would-
some evil.
And it did not work out.
No.
Also, not having Protect there, definitely. I don't know why.
Try attack. Why is he try attack?
I mean, it's a neutral coverage for
Yeah, but why not Terra Blast with the Terra?
neutral coverage for.
Terra
That's a-
Blast is the same strength, Nathaniel, please.
Yeah.
Is it?
It is.
Yeah, they're both 80.
Yeah.
They're both 80.
Hmm.
I mean, the thing is, Terra Blast, you don't even have to Terra for it to be neutral coverage. So
No.
I feel like Glydog
Actually,
could
wait, no.
have looked good if he got it in,
I
but
solved it.
Yeah, I feel like
It's Serene Grace Magnezone, guys.
Twinkie
Right.
was
Oh my God.
I think like their play was really good and their team building was good this game. Like it just I feel like everything made sense, you know.
so like
I felt like
from
Kush
Push,
had to be a
the
little
build was
more-
lacking. You're bringing
It
Banded
was.
Lydog, no
Kush
setup.
Kush had to be more proactive in his Inteleon. Like if I was him, there's a lot of turns where I would just be trying to catch it on a switch. Like you get a psychic noise off and you do 50, or a scald and burn. Like that's a totally different game.
yeah,
know?
and he also just doesn't have any offensive answers for it because
Or
like
even a T-Wave.
it's just the only things you have are Talonflame and Dog, and it's like you can't switch those in. And it's like you can go Magnezone, but like Magnezone's gonna get chipped throughout the game. I guess you can wish with your synthesis wish Florges, but
This set is sinful.
yeah, I
Yeah.
mean the team's just not good. But I think Twinkie did pretty well.
They've done
Yeah, I think
honestly
all
quite
things
well this
considered.
tour.
Okay,
Oh.
so what other
What-
matches?
what else?
Oh yeah,
I
we were
think
going to talk about this
the-
SS match.
Ah,
Okay.
So first thing I see off replay or like off rip is that Damien's using a team that's been used like in was it 2022 Grand Slam? It was like really popular then. Like all the
yeah,
players who
this
didn't.
is definitely an
Let
old
me
ass
pull
team.
up the
You can
game.
tell it's an old
All
ass
the-
team
all-
because it has
Oh,
parting shots, still
Can I
lifesteal.
tell you my biggest
Yeah.
complaint so far from the tour has been that it's very clear that very few people are building, which is like fair. There's only like who actually plays the tier that's in right now, like myself.
If you
and
were
OBB.
using a team that was
and
actually
OBB's
like,
building has been trash, I'm pissed off at it too.
Oh, by the way, look
You-
at this! Look at
yeah.
this fucking rocks. This elite rocks.
yeah, that was pretty nice. That
This-
play's been made quite a bit.
This team is Damien's team is kind of gross, like really gross.
Strong team. It's been proven to be good. Like
It's good. It's good until I feel like you face like. I mean, I'm gonna bring up my favorite mod again, but like, what do you do? Like, Eggy A is annoying.
I mean,
A lot of these, fatter, like even Toxic Croak can be really annoying, especially Special Croak. But like, people aren't really using that so much right now.
Yeah.
I don't know.
this
It's both like
wasn't-
really.
if
good
this
and,
wasn't
like,
as Crafty said
whack.
it was, then it would be a better team. But it's revealed later that it's, I guess, Bandit.
Yeah, right.
Oh yeah, Bandit is
Yeah,
definitely
if
bad.
I remember correctly.
Volca makes this team pretty gross.
That's what I
So,
mean.
like,
It makes it
what I
strong.
will say is I feel like this team is very strong into a team like Rom's over here. Like one of these just like teams that are just lacking something, And this
Mhm.
keeps
Well, it's
lacking.
lacking. It's not just lacking something. It's lacking so much.
It's lacking a lot.
Your toxic switching are two mons
toxic-
that are weak to the mons that click toxic, right? So you
Yeah.
have stack attack and you have Dredagon, or not Dredagon. You have Drapion.
Drapion, yeah.
And then your Scald switch-ins are mons that are weak to that status, but also tend to switch into those mons that click the status move. So it's just like not a lot of synergy.
Yeah.
And I see the offensive synergy, like you're trying to overwhelm Mudzip, right?
No,
okay,
the
but there's
offensive
5
synergy
other
makes
mons.
sense.
There's 5 other mons on the team that you need to account for.
And
and
Mudsdale
when you're
definitely
in the
is not
building,
getting
yeah.
broken this game.
Well, no, and it's not getting broken. Why? Because the Rotom hard switched in on a toxic, and you don't have a cleric. And
You have
the
no
whole
way- you
motif
have
of this generation was that you either need a cleric or you need to put out a lot of offensive pressure. And this
I think
team is
that
doing
one thing
neither.
that people, I think one thing that people don't realize from playing SS, I felt like a lot of discussion, even now, but it's like back then too. It was always kind of based around almost as if like teams were played in a 1v1. But like, for example, take like Vaporeon teams, right? Like Vaporeon teams can basically handle anything, even like their really worst matchups, just because like Rotom cannot beat Vaporeon in a 1-on-1 if it's Scarf. Yeah, maybe you can try to trick it or throw up a Leaf Storm and it can like wish it off, or maybe you catch on the switch and you're volting everywhere. But like there's just like a lot of, I feel like SS is more than most tiers is really all about the big picture and about the rest of the team. And I feel like a lot of builds, like especially like Rom's over here, doesn't really acknowledge that. Like if it was just Mudsdale, okay, fine, you can overwhelm it, but how do you beat Mudsdale Vaporeon?
With
Plume, which
with all due respect to whoever built Rom's team and Rom themselves,
I think probably
this
Rom.
looks
Rom
like
builds.
this looks like a 5-minute work in progress team that you'd have on your phone, and then that you'd realize, oh, there are tough matchups if you tested it out a little bit.
Yeah.
And so it's just very flawed into the meta, and these Vapo teams are built for noob stomping, right? So like
Yeah.
noobs to the meta, right? Not noobs to the game, but like that's what they're.
I also think that he didn't really play to his outs. Like if you go to turn 26, 25, and let me see, and like the Scrafty switches out, which whatever I think is a fine move. Like on that turn, you have to SD, and you have to get the roll on the Vileplume, and you have because you already break Mudsdale, and you basically like if you SD you can win, right? If
It's
USD on that turn with the volley ground.
it's
Like, it felt
such
like
a
there was
I don't know.
something
It's such
missing.
a weird turn because Rom still doesn't win if they SD because there's a Talonflame that can revenge kill you
Yeah, there's a Talonflame
Well-
and there's a Mudsteel after. I guess the
that you have
Talonflame
to get
probably
Protector
has
into it.
to hit a Wisp. So it's like if it doesn't hit
Yeah,
that
but like,
Wisp,
but
then...
like, what would be the alternative? Like, that's the only time where you can make a play happen. You know what I mean?
Wasn't it Intimidate Scrafty as well?
Oh,
I
it
don't
was.
remember.
Okay, I
It
didn't see
is,
that.
it is.
No,
So
no,
you
you
could
were right.
you
You're
could
right.
cycle that. Yeah, this wasn't winnable, and it
No, it wasn't
it
winnable.
stems
I
from the
lied.
builder, and
It's
that's
a
it.
builder too.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean,
It's
it wasn't
kind of the reality of
winnable,
it.
but there definitely was more that could have been done.
I mean, assuming this
Oh,
Drapion is Swords Dance, you could have made progress really early if you just put off a lot of pressure.
It might have not been Swords Dance, but I don't see what else it would have been.
I mean, it's probably Con Swords Dance.
It has to be Swords Dance.
So like,
Maybe
If
it's
not
Aqua
that,
Tail
it could
3
be T-Spikes.
attack.
yeah, well, no, it's not Earthquake. Otherwise, it would have clicked that on the Savali.
I think maybe Aqua Tail 3 attacks. But like, it's just
Doubtful.
not. There's nothing to do here, and then yeah, I guess it's a good play to
What was
switch
the
out.
Sun Moon game in that set?
It was the Lax Watashi game. So
That
we've
was a
talked
really
about
good
this
game.
a little bit.
It's an HO versus a balance.
I have
Team.
no good thoughts about this game.
I think Watashi played really well.
I
think
think this is a cool game.
brought
I
some
think that
issues,
just
you
it's
know,
so gorgeous. Anything else in that slot, you know? But it makes sense.
Like
Yeah.
the turn one glare was excellent. The up was excellent. The ice beam was fine. Delmise, you knock or power whip, I think.
I think that the thing is, you guys are talking about the Selgor. I think Rabia might be thinking of the Steelix set right now.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
That
I'm
Steelix.
thinking
Yeah.
about a team that gets Super 6-0'd by Mega Abomasnow being brought in current year,
Yeah.
and in a team that
yeah, but
lost
Mega
to
Abomasnow
Clang
is
just
overrated.
upsettingly. Although it's not that it's bad in Clang, it kind of happened.
Well, this isn't the worst Sun Moon team that was brought.
No.
What was
I've
the worst
seen
one?
a lot of sinful Sun and Moon this tournament, and I am a little disgusted as someone that still is actively.
Well,
Did we talk about the most
you could have
sinful?
slotted in.
I don't
Look,
think
man.
we talked about the most sinful Sun Moon, so I might go back to that series.
Which one
to
was
talk
that?
about
I
it.
don't remember.
I'll skip ahead in this a little bit. This
Don't
just dies.
don't play that game.
I'm gonna
you could have
play
slotted
it
in.
because I need the people to know.
I don't want to see that game again.
Wait, which game is this?
You know exactly which one.
I don't know which game this is.
The
Use
E-turn
your
one?
noggin slice.
Wait, what do you...
There's so many games. It could be the Zeri one.
Oh, the Zeri one.
It is
Yeah,
the
you're
Zeri one.
right. I suppressed that memory.
To give you some
Yeah.
positivity, though, I thought Watashi played the game impeccably. Like
Yeah.
they got every
That's what I
early
was saying
game
earlier.
They did.
Watashi
They played
made
it
every
great.
click correct, and
Yeah.
was in
Watashi
a
played a great
commanding
game.
position from the beginning, and it was just I don't know.
think
Lax
Lax also
like,
bringing a team that loses to Comfy in current year is very bold
That's crazy.
and should not be repeated ever again.
Yeah, it
I
loses to
agree with
Comfy,
you on that.
except it has a Steelix, so it just has to
It
preserve the
still
Steelix
loses
at
to Comfy.
100%.
I mean,
Yeah,
the
well, I
problem
mean-
is that Steelix is your only Comfy check does not work. Like you
It
cannot
does not work. I think we see in the Zeri game, like it just takes too much. Like
Yeah.
it takes 75 at +2.
That was with
So the
Grassnot,
reason
it
it's
could have
shift gearing
taken
here-
more.
Also,
is because
the
it's-
Steelix set is fine.
it's
It's
heavy
just
slam
losing
toxic.
to Klinklang is unfortnite. Like the fact that it
what?
You see
really beat the
Unfortnite?
Clanger.
Oh,
I just
nah.
think that not having EQ
Not
makes
letting you get away
so,
with that one,
so
bro.
impossibly passive. It's like that's a Steelix that loses to like so many things.
Yeah, but the appeal to it is Protect on Steelix is kind of OP compared to Protect on any other Mon.
That
This
is true.
Mon, I have legitimately recovered from 7% on a Steelix to over 60% with the move Protect and nothing else.
Yeah,
I think
I
that this team from Lax also loses to any type of garb spikes and a lot of other stuff like that because it's not Earthquake. I don't see. I mean, you have a Sigilif,
Yeah.
whatever, but like,
Garb is
What are
hard to
you-
pressure, I agree.
what are you doing?
Yeah.
You've
Just-
got to
I mean,
go
it's just
Stoys
poisons in
repeatedly
general,
on it.
It's just Sigilif.
Well,
Mhm.
if you go Stoys, then you can Toxic it or Gunk Shot Poison it or Chip it or whatever. And if you go Sigilif, then they get a Spike Up. So it's like a
Yeah.
catch
Okay,
22.
well we have to talk about this team.
This
We're
game.
not gonna
So this
dwell on
was
it too
between
much.
this was
But
between the Absols and the
Oh,
I
I'm
don't
glad
remember.
I didn't watch this game till now. There's a Masquerade and a Golurk. See
okay,
what happens.
no. Okay, we're gonna go over this. So
Or
there's a
rather, we missed out
Masquerade
on a gem.
with
We
webs,
missed out on a real
but
gem.
this isn't the worst part of the team. Let me tell you.
No.
This
Alright.
isn't close. So this Pessimian
I
comes
believe you.
in, and this is interesting because this Pessimian
Oh, Life Orb Sneasel.
reveals very early on that with this gunk shot that it's
Oh.
life orb. So it's not scarf.
Oh.
So what we're looking at is right now we're looking at a scarf Togo to Mario, Silvally who knows what it is.
Please be ground.
It could be
Don't say.
Silvally ground, possibly. Maybe.
Well, why would it
Not
be with
Savali
No,
ground.
I know. It's not Silvally ground.
Look, I've already seen 2 Pokemon that
I'm
should be
asking
holding a
you.
choice item that aren't holding the choice item. This is
Yeah.
already getting a little
So-
extreme.
Oh yeah, well wait till you see what the Vaporeon
Okay,
is.
Look,
so now
this
look at
Mon
this
is
Togedemaru
holding
damage.
a choice item.
Oh,
Yo!
that did a lot. I wonder what item that
Yo.
is. Oh, it's Choice Band. It's Choice Band Togedemaru. So now
Why is
you're
this
looking at
banded Togedemaru?
now you're looking at this team and you're like, what is it doing against Sigalip?
Why does Shadow Punch?
I
do
wonder
nothing at all?
what the Silvally is, because what is this doing against Sigalip?
Gotta be Valley Dark.
It's gotta be
No
like
way.
Silvally Dark. It has to be like Silvally Steel, something.
You know what? No, Meri going on this tire. This is some bullcrap like Silvally Psychic.
It's not. It's
Oh, it's
boy.
the good
Oh, boy.
Vaporeon set. Yes.
It
Good
is.
work,
It
Siri.
is. It is Zilla. It is Z Celebrate. This is the good Vaporeon set. This is,
Fortunately, he's not sub, so it's still not the good.
yeah. So this is.
Wait
this
till
is,
you see the Savali type.
This is.
I'm
I don't
not
even
ready.
remember it. This is a surprise to me.
The thing is, it's a good Silvally
fun.
type, but it's not good in the context of the team.
Oh, it's poison. Yeah. Oops. Shit.
Okay. Well, I'll skip ahead a
Ruin
little
the
bit.
surprise, Fred. How
Whoa.
dare you?
I will skip ahead a little bit. So, actually, I skipped this. LPZ's only
LPZ
response
just-
here is to Z move, I guess.
Ah,
Goes till volley
Stack
steal,
another
sack
mod.
this, and then
He's
Vapo
getting
just
run
made
down
so
by
much
this.
progress. That
yeah,
was absurd.
this Vaporeon single-handedly probably won series of the game because there wasn't really nothing that LBZ could do here.
oh no, and it was Grass Knot instead of Giga Drain too.
It was a game, man. The game was played.
And then this Comfy is hella dead now. Going right on the banded U-turn to do 13.
What was the Slowking at? Couldn't they have just Iron Headed? I'm pretty
It
sure
was
that
at 50, yeah. I mean, Ironhead seemed pretty free to me.
that's what I thought. Yeah. I
Mario
would have
sure.
loved to see a Togedemaru sweep. A banded Togedemaru sweep.
Oh,
Yeah.
and it's Drain Punch Passimian. Oh,
It is Strain Punch Pessimian. So, yeah, what I was going to reveal is that this is Silvally Poison. So you're looking at the Sigalith check, and there is none. So this team is the first team that I think has unironically been 6-0'd by a Pokemon in the
I
entire
wonder what the
tournament.
Golurk is. I feel like it has to be AV with like
I
I don't know rocks.
I don't know, man.
I think
AV
it might
Clutch.
be
Maybe it's
AV
Choice Band.
too.
I think it's AV Klutz rocks. Yeah.
It could be AV Klutz Rocks or something like that. But the thing is, if Golurk takes even a little bit of chip, Masquerade obviously dies. Pessimian dies to Air Slash. Silvally Poison dies to any psychic move. Togedemaru dies to Heat Wave because it's not Scarf.
hmm
Vaporeon
Still
dies
faster.
to anything after chip.
This was a game,
That was
man.
probably the weakest
Lord.
Shadow Ball or Shadow Punch I've ever seen though. So maybe it's like I don't know.
Yeah, I
Max
don't
HP
know.
rocks.
Either
like
way,
no attack.
Either way,
speed.
this team is egregious, and
Hey, yo, that U-turn grip mattered.
It did.
it mattered very slightly. I think Ziri probably still wins. In that
It mattered
spot.
because you could have slacked on that turn, and then Siri still has to predict on U-turn versus like Zing. Think
Yeah,
there.
U-turn versus Zing for sure.
I think you always just U-turn and try and set up. I don't know.
Perhaps.
It's weird.
However, to be
Anyways.
considered.
Okay, and was there any
Were
other
there any
interesting
other
games in this series?
I don't know if there were.
I
Tack
don't.
Rock was kind of cool.
I mean, Tech Roxy was
Which
just
one?
the final game. It was the 5-4 game. So,
I remember
So
this.
it was Tech Rock was 5-4.
and it was also the last game of the week.
Of the week, right? Yeah.
So
It was the Reuniclus showdown for whatever Duocean.
yeah, Dewosion Showdown forces the trick switch there on the trick.
That trick might have been a bit premature.
It
no
was
lie.
a bit premature, but she gets the scarf back, which is interesting.
I feel like Blizzard was like a super free click there. If they stay in, then they're
The thing
they're
is,
bad.
I think Thick Fat Pylo is like kind of the one thing that switches into Rotom like successfully. So it's like getting that tricked is also nice.
Going Cacturne was a pretty nice touch from Roxy. I respect that.
Yeah.
It covers the Volt and it covers the trick, but that's a pretty bold call out. The taunt was cute.
That's good. That's a good taunt. And I guess this Misdreavus is Shadow Ball and not Hex. I don't know whether they run Hex in Black White ever. But you have the taunt again here, and you probably die. Oh, Roxy went for the recover.
I remember
Yeah,
one
that
thing
game
that I
was
was
cool.
confused by in this game was how this Duosion got back HP later. I thought it was dead at this point.
Yeah,
It
it
got
should have
back
been
HP
dead.
How does it get back
because
HP?
You'll
don't know.
watch and find out, my boy.
Nah, I'm too lazy. I'm skipping ahead.
That's rough.
this
Oh,
Scarf
right.
Seismitoad
Oh yeah,
putting in work.
this Scarf Seismitoad was pretty nice.
Oh,
It
wow.
That crit
could have
might
gotten
have
that crit mattered,
crit
but
probably mattered.
it was also fishing pretty often for Scald Burn, so it was like,
did it break sub always?
well, it hits here, it breaks sub here, and then this
Well,
would have been
it's like
the
a roll
second
for
fish
sure, right?
Maybe.
on Scald.
One can only assume.
I
It's
think
I
Ringo
feel like
size.
you could have
Oh my
EQ'd
God.
here if you have that.
It may
That
have
crit
been a
definitely
little
mattered.
more offensive
it could
than
have
normal.
been, yeah, it could have been a roll, but I think it's a roll.
I like
in
this set. This
quick
Endeavor
skipping.
Kangaskhan is cool.
I feel like it's not as good as if they clicked EQ there
Yeah,
and
maybe.
kept your Kangaskhan at above 50%.
Yeah, keeping Kanga.
Because Kanga looked pretty good. Like it lived a hit from everybody and was annoying and shit.
Superior
Yeah,
is interesting.
yeah.
I guess, yeah, you just kill the Misdreavus and then Kanga comes in, probably. Yeah. I don't remember this game, I'm gonna be honest.
This having the Duosion in allowed the opposing Duosion to get set up or to get healed.
Yeah, and it was like a slow grow war, but in Black White,
Yeah.
Yeah.
basically.
Also, I
All right,
don't.
we got
Oh,
we
I
got
see.
the best for last.
They go for Endeavor to.
Wait, why did they Endeavor again?
They're trying to get Duosion in. To
Oh,
recover.
yeah. Duh. I was a bit confused by that. No.
I have no clue whether this is a speed tie or not, for what it's worth.
I don't think it is. Maybe?
Oh, wait.
Oh.
Oh, I see.
Oh.
I see. So I guess you trick here, or at least you threaten the trick. Well, you have to trick here, actually, because you're
Because you're
dead.
gonna die.
Oh,
And it's like tricking this is still fine.
Because, well, now Duosion keeps the
Now
Violet regardless.
Ocean just online. And
You keep a sag. I don't know.
this was part of it. Is that Duosion
Going-
didn't have the opportunity to get all the way up. Is that the right player? Is it better to combine there?
From Serp?
No, from the Duosion instead of the Psyshock.
Wow, any Perez would have
Yeah.
won Roxy the game.
Roxy kind of just got unlucky a little too.
I believe it was like crits or Psyshock doing too much, and Tack brought a faster Reuniclus or Duosion.
Yeah. Tag did bring a faster Duosion, and that mattered a fair bit, but the Thunder didn't end up killing, so it didn't matter that much.
2 no Paras, 3. Yeah, it's kind of rough. I
And
mean,
combined with mischance, it's like
I feel like there might have been an opportunity to get another combine on the superior,
Yeah, I think so, definitely, because
which
Superior
I
only did
think which I
33, and
think
it's like Superior can't calm mind and set up beside you because you have Slash R.
yeah, I feel like that was a missed opportunity for sure.
what else?
And
I don't
I
think I found anything else interesting from that matchup.
no, not really. And then finally, we have the broken team versus the Brazilians.
This was a fun one.
The broken team versus the Brazilians. I like
Oh,
that.
Danny
Good way
won
to
this
put it.
week. Let's go.
I
Okay,
did
we'll watch.
indeed.
We'll watch.
Yeah.
Actually, maybe let's watch an interesting game first.
Oh, I remember
No,
this
no,
one. The
no,
game where
no, no,
Slice
no,
got
no,
bitch.
no, no, no,
Yeah.
no. I don't like
We'll
this
So
watch.
game.
so
We'll
Team
watch
so
sucks.
this
so
one.
it's
Hey,
Slice G Terrain versus my team, which I don't know how they got it, but they got it.
So
to be
turn one
fair,
is
I'm
interesting.
sure this is a
If we
six
actually
in
want to analyze it, then
people's
turn one is
builders.
worth looking.
Okay. So this
What
is
happened turn
cool.
one? You should have
Turn one,
you
turn
should have
one.
used
I should have U-turned, but if he was spec, like the way I would play that is I ice beam on the U-turn.
it's such a big risk for your best mon.
Yeah, I'm gonna be
That's what I'm
honest.
saying.
I
That's
always
why I
hard
grasped
switch
it.
if I've got the Inteleon.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So let
I
me give a
agree.
little more context on this team because it turns out what happened is that
I
Danny a few years ago, months ago, whatever, who knows, I built a really awful double spec lizard team.
This team is great. Like you're
Blizzard's
hating
team
because
is a
you got
great team.
you're hating, but it's it's like almost
That was a
undefeated.
bad move by
Also,
him, by the
also
way.
this
If he just
Stunfisk
kept
is really
attacking,
bad,
he beat.
and also the Stunfisk is grass type.
This is proof
Yeah,
we
it's
need
pretty funny.
Steelix in this generation. A Steelix would not have turned into a grass type there.
Steelix also wouldn't have T-Waved me. All right,
Steelix
now
Steelix
I'm
would
gonna.
also
have
would
By
not
the
have
way,
gotten parried
I
by
did,
the
I did
synchronize.
store power there. I did store power on the Terra, which means I never would have been leech seeded, which means this won. Well, until I get crit anyway,
I
so it
don't
doesn't even matter.
understand that U turn at all. I don't know what that does.
It
Does
gets
that?
more leech seed chip to put it in range of
Oh,
dark
two
pulse.
crit, another crit,
Dude,
another
look at the
crit.
vortex that Slice got put in though.
Yeah, look at that.
Just
The
yeah, the
rest.
vortex of crits.
Hey,
If
Oh,
you
there
had
it is.
stored powered instead of
One.
rested, go.
Ha ha ha.
That's true, but yeah, it's true. I just
Okay.
U-turn,
You turn.
U turn.
and then I go.
Calm mind.
Whatever. I did misplay this, but I also got hacks, and like that's fine. It's okay to admit that. I thought Pastel Veil also blocked status and U-turn. I didn't realize
okay.
it was just.
I got
I didn't realize
hacks,
it was
he
just.
says.
I didn't realize it
Okay.
was.
Well,
Yep, there it is.
Two.
Yep.
And then the para.
Yep.
Okay.
Don't tell me. Don't tell me I didn't get hacks. Yeah.
Okay.
Slice,
This
I
was a
feel
weird play.
not
This was a
knowing
weird.
what he
flinch.
does.
And then flinch.
and that's the
It was,
game.
And that's the
for,
game.
for for a lot of people, that was probably a fun game to watch.
It was.
It was.
It
For
was
haters
not.
of G-Terrain and of Pokeslice.
The plot
And
armor was
Also,
defeated.
please don't use that G Train team again ever. Using G
yeah,
Train
that's
without
definitely.
Sceptile,
See,
like
yeah, I was thinking about it. Skeptile, I should revamp it. I just haven't done it in like
it has to be
months.
better than fucking horse.
Nah, horse is epic, but you're probably
Horse is
right. It
pretty
goes
dope.
horse is underrated, but you're right. You're right.
I just
Musharna
mean,
is not good.
yeah, you can
No,
replace
Musharna is great.
Musharna,
Musharna. Nah,
but
I would replace horse before Musharna.
that's what I was thinking.
Musharna is like a second boost, just like slightly worse.
I think I talked about this as a personal low light. There isn't that many grounds in DPP, but if you look at Viv's team after all of them are revealed, I think you have the half ground resist with Vile Plume. You have
Right.
you have the quarter ground resist with Reggie Brock. And
Yeah, you like took offense to this game.
and you have 4 EQ weak mons in a Vile Plume in a dream.
So we were talking about this in game chat. There were a couple turns that we thought could have been played a little bit better from Viv's perspective. I don't think we've gotten to it yet.
Was it particularly in that end game? because I can just skip
Yes.
forward to the end game.
Yeah. Do you know what I'm
Because
talking
The
about?
end game was
Because
weird.
here it's weird. So I
here
think
is where you should probably stay in T-Wave. That's fine.
this
Then you
is
switch
fine.
out
You
because
switch to
we have
Magneton here
Custab. Like
because you
we
have
have a
Custab,
Custab.
and the thing is, you're at 35%, and Custab is gonna allow you to, after rocks, you'll be able to get the Float Soul, because the Float Soul is not gonna Aqua Jet or something. I don't think that they can Aqua Jet. 'Cause I
No,
don't-
because if it Aqua Jets, then Magnezone wins or Magneton
Yeah.
wins. So it's like we always go Magneton here. If they predict that, they're the goats. But it's like
Yeah, but
they're
even if you go Magneton here, I don't think that there's really a way to punish Magneton on that
not
turn,
really.
because I don't think that
I'm
Float
not
Soul
sure that
kills.
waterfall doesn't kill us. So even if they seismic toss there, then we just spam T-Bolt. So it's like always go Magneton here, preserve your Custab, and play it that way. The up was like
Yeah. I
really
Yeah,
think
and then this is like
it was like he forgot he had it.
somehow Plague Doc doesn't click Seismic Toss, because if he did, then he would have made it to where the next move would have triggered Custap, and it's like that would have been a huge advantage in the same game. But
Yeah.
this is how it should have played out. I think what Viv is thinking probably here is, if I keep the Staple Eye low, then Magneton will just kill it, and then I'll live Float Soul.
yes, but there were cleaner lines, and so
There
we
were
had talked
definitely
about it
cleaner
afterwards.
There were
lines.
cleaner lines.
And
And so you see it
I
later.
also,
Yeah,
I
the
also, I
waterfall
didn't
does have
honestly, I
fun.
didn't like his team either. I really just don't know what Lead Electabuzz does, and it did nothing this game. And like, I kind of told him, I
That's
was
kind of
like,
my
yo,
when
like,
I
I was like,
tested
this
versus
lead does
Viv, Lead
nothing.
Electabuzz 6-0'd me. Not
How?
necessarily, but it did a lot of work. It
I
stole
just
my
don't know what it does.
Pokestash. It like
Yeah, because
did a
it's
bunch of
thief,
good
right?
stuff. Yeah, and then its
Like,
coverage was really good versus my
what
team.
happened this game was about what I expected to happen with an Electabuzz, and I told him that.
Yeah.
What else? The SV games.
The SV games, I don't know which of these are interesting.
Tuther versus Seraphs was a versus Sun game, so that's always okay.
Yeah,
Look at the.
always-
Let me
versus.
say something. Let
Yeah,
me say something real quick. For those
the
of you
guy
who
who's
say that Sun isn't broken, look at this matchup. We have Ambipom, we have Dragalge, we have we have a Talonflame, we have a Gallade, which can easily be assumed to be Assault Vest, potentially an Assault Vest Magnezone, and a Talonflame, right? And we don't know the Terra on Swampert, it could be Dragon, right? Let's see how this plays out, because Tuther was in control the majority of the game, but even with all this counterplay to Sun, we almost lose. So we show we're not AV Gallade, and we get a lot of
Yeah,
chip. Really
it's
well
not
played
AV
from
Gallade,
Tuther.
but that basically guarantees that it's Terra Dragon AV Magnezone. And for some reason, Seraph sacks the Flagon there.
So that turn was really weird. I don't get why they didn't go Espeon. Like
yeah.
Gallade almost never can touch it unless it's knockoff, and if it's knockoff, like your Espeon did your job, right? And
Yeah.
that's
Well,
what
I
it
think
is. What it is.
I think you can safely assume they're all knockoff.
Eject button into Bonnet.
Was weird. Like why go Bonnet on the Dragalge?
Yeah, and then
I guess it's the only thing you can do. You get the flame body burn, sucks for y'all, I think.
yeah,
Like
that
actually
does
that was
suck.
pretty unfortunate because Brew Bonnet looked
Yeah.
really good versus us.
And
And
then
what,
Now we
we
go
just-
Ambipom with Terra Normal,
Terra Normal. And it's
and then
like,
we have to like make plays and not really.
the thing.
I think
the
we just
thing-
go back into zone.
Yeah, you go into zone here. The thing is,
They light screen, we kill.
you have to make so many plays, even though the matchup should be so linear with this Ambipom.
Like we should be owning so hard, and yet
yeah.
as you can see in the end game, we barely win, right? And that growth Scovillain was very cool. I'm a big proponent of growth Scovillain if you're using it.
Yeah,
Specs is
and
always going to be broken, but
and it's like, if you have even like, I bet you could protect on growth Scovillain too.
I agree. Although it's pretty situational because Ambipom isn't necessarily the top meta threat.
Yeah.
It's only
Fake out here.
for the weather
Fake
matchup.
out, and then Venusaur.
Then you sack
here.
Swampert.
You have to
and
sack
then
Swampert, and it's like the only reason that you would win here is because Sun runs out after the Fake
And
out
what's also
and
interesting is that, I mean, we still won because of the Giga Drain, because of the fake out. But look, we have to hit a triple axle, so it's like
yeah.
it's just so weird to me how some people see this insane amount of prep for Sun and say that this play style is not broken. Cough, cough, Rabia.
Yeah, if this Ambipom wasn't
Oh, did he
on
leave,
the team, I think he's been coming in and out.
bro? Oh well.
No, whatever, it's fine. No, like you're right. Like that's the thing. Like you look at the games of the people who are like, "Oh, Sun's not broken." Like pull up the ZS game. You know what? Let's pull up that one. That's a great example.
I don't wanna pull up this game.
Like
It is the
just
series. But look at this
just
look at this
look at
freaking
ZS's team.
team. Look at
Like
this
Those
team.
with all due respect to ZS, because he is an amazing builder, an amazing player, and I respect his takes.
that.
You brought a Rotom Heat, you brought a Tentacruel Spadef, you brought an Umbreon Spadef, you brought a Terra Dragon Rhyperior, presumably, right? We don't know if it is or not, but presumably, right?
I think it's safe
And
for something.
and
And we
then you
also have the
say
face
that
something.
Sun isn't broken, and you say it's a building issue. Like, come on, man.
Yeah,
Like
like
That
you're
seems
coping so
ugly.
hard.
Like
What happens if you face something like, I don't know,
anything
Life
not
Orb
weather.
Mienshao? And like Life Orb Mienshao looks pretty good, even though all you have is a Slowbro and a Terra. So maybe it's not that good. But like something else, right? Some kind of breaker, like a mixed Basculegion or something. Maybe not. But still, like you're building so prepared for Sun, so like bending over backwards for it,
yeah,
and then you purport that it's not broken.
this is maybe the one decent team that can build like this. Like cuz it's like ZS has basically forced forced it to where every piece kind of works together, and then it's also very sun resistant. But it's like you can't do this on every team. You can't run a fucking Rotom Heat Tentacruel Umbreon every week. You just can't.
And it's also an extremely fat team, so you run into issues if you face balance
Fat,
and stuff
slow,
like
it's
that. And
Yeah,
ugly.
and
And
I
it'll
think
beat
that you
bad
also
teams.
face issues in the
And that's
offense
valid.
because it's like you just get overwhelmed and you don't have offensive responses to anything except my show.
yeah, so it's in my opinion, right? I'm sure there are other opinions. It's extremely indicative of what Sun forces the builder to do. First of all, that Kingdra, what the hell?
Also,
Like
this is Miracle Tentacruel.
yeah.
It's
So
Miracle
Oh,
Tentacruel.
he's not even trying to hide the prep.
so Kridra on rain, but it's not actually sniper. It's Swift Swim. Was very funny. Look at this was actually a really well played game in the later stages of the game from ZS. Like, I mean, maybe not necessarily because all he has to do is click Wish Protect, but he set it up really well.
Yeah, he
And
sets
and
up
uh,
Umbreon to win here, but it
and I
is
think like I don't know. It's like you almost lost versus a poorly built rain team, and then
This team's really rain
yeah,
prepared,
I don't know.
sort of.
We came prepared for the cheese in each slot. Mine
That's
less
true.
so than the others, but I do have counterplay to
yeah.
weather.
I mean,
Please don't bring
the
Sunverse.
thing is, this is pretty nice here because
Yep.
now you have it set up to where there's no real
Threat. Yeah.
there's no real threat. There's no real counterplay. I guess you just switch
Sack 'em
here.
on.
Yeah, you sack them on
Yeah.
here to wave crash.
Now, potentially, could they have doubled? Yes, because they have 5 Mons to our 3. Think about that.
Yeah, so I think doubling was probably the correct play there.
I agree.
But
You could have doubled into Serena, Kingdra,
I
something
also
like
think that's a hard trigger for somebody newer to pull.
True. That's true.
I don't think that you don't see that necessarily Umbreon is gonna completely win the game here. But
Yeah, and that's how it
everything
ends
is
up playing.
toxic. It's just gonna wish
Right.
protect forever.
It's just game. I think Umbreon's underrated, by the way. I know there's
It's
like a lot of
definitely a
hate.
good Mon.
It is a good
I
one.
just think that people hate because it's like weird to fit and it's an evolution, so nobody wants it to be good.
Well, it fits on certain team styles, specifically like fatter balances.
Like yeah,
Like
I think
that's
I think the thing that people don't like is the kind of playstyle that Umbreon lends itself to more than anything.
Yeah.
Because
Which is fair because you're under so much pressure from Slowbro and Sun, and you want to purport so much offensive
Also,
pressure as possible so as to
people don't
prevent
like
those.
playing boring. You know,
Yeah.
I
people like
guess
playing boring.
my game was interesting because they had a strong breaker.
Yeah. So this
The
was a
Porygon
game
Z put a
that
lot of threat.
Radio
I
wanted
just,
to talk about
yeah, PZ did do well here too.
because he was talking about this where Talonflame U-turns turn 2 and forces you into a pretty tough spot here. And T-Bolt on the Copper is not necessarily the best click, but it's a pretty good click. And it's pretty safe.
This turn, I felt really behind already. I had to make a play. And so I stayed in. I lived like 40% of the time from CC anyways, but that's besides the point. I knew they were U-turning. And you knock off there.
I think getting the
Whatever,
Talonflame
you
knocked
deserve
out
to get burned.
is still very crucial for this Gallade to open up.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, it destroys now.
Yeah.
Wait, this was AV,
So
right?
this turn, like they're going further up. I need chip on Rhyperior in order to break it with Lydog and Gallade, and I end up going Slowbro there. I think they make a great double, really good double from them,
That's a really
getting
good
it in.
double. And now Krookodile
And then I
is
have to snack
dead.
them on.
Because Tri-Attack is free at this point.
Yep. I can go Copper and up here. Maybe they could have clicked Tri-Attack as an aggressive play again, but that's really hard to click.
That's a hard click there, especially because you're just like you're risking your best breaker.
Yep. So I get the rocks, which is pretty nice for crippling Porygon and Muck. Here I thought was weird. So this turn was really weird to me. I thought you should preserve the Muck. Look at my team into knockoff, and look at your Gallade check is a Slowbro, so you should just go into Slowbro. Like I'm never clicking.
You should go into
an attack,
Slowbro, and even if you're clicking Leaf Blade there to predict the Slowbro, it's like your Regenerator. You can just switch out and come back later.
So this turn was just AV Gallade doing AV Gallade things, living a super effective hit from like a 130 base special attack or something insane.
To be fair, it is down. It's like download makes it to where there's no hard great click. I guess you just click Shadow Ball. Maybe you have Terra.
Yeah.
But download gets.
I preserved Terra because I was setting up for a Lycan Rock win. This is I'll sack my Noivern. Now, as they knock off, that was a mistake. I feel like they should have U-turned, I guess. Lycan Rock can now Swords Dance here, and they have nothing to do because +2 sucker kills Shao, and they don't have a switch into my throw shop.
Yeah, and it's like
look at that.
This has Terra
39. And and even if they burnt, like let's think about it. Even if they burnt, my CM Slowbro won, because I'm not. I resist both their moves. I'm Covert Cloak, and I have a Gallade as well that can switch in once to side blade and waste more slack offs. So
I hate
it's a pretty linear game.
Cloak.
What was that? Yeah,
I know. I hate that we're running Clover Cloak. I don't want to.
I know.
So gross.
Did we skipped the Axortix game as well in the?
Oh yeah, we
in the
did skip the Axortix game. Where is it?
It's the third game from the top.
Yeah, we just didn't talk about it.
This is in the Absols as well. This was another really good game to watch.
This is a good game.
This was a good game to watch live. As we'll see after that turn, it's Banded Swampert, which is cute. Brings in Chandelure, make another double to Swampert. Just really abusing the fact that Axortix brought a Muck. Look at that. 58.
I really don't like Muck, man. I think that like Muck right now feels like you're asking to lose.
The thing is,
I don't even know why.
This Avalugg is kind of nice on this team, but it's still like Avalugg Muck is inviting all of these plays to be made, and it's like you have to go into the Mon to check them on, but now you just go Chandelure. I guess I don't know why this Joy came out there.
I'm not sure either.
Because now I'm at 100, but it's like you're forcing the play here. Muck, he's just playing on the back foot the entire game. Basically.
Yeah, and so as you click through this game, you'll see that Nunez is in control of the majority of the game until there's like 2 Mons left.
It's just a vortex, and then Chandelure finally clicks a move to force.
Is that AV too? That is AV Muck, right? No, or is it Rest? I don't remember.
I don't remember.
I don't know.
You up, whatever. Go Chandelure. Great EQ.
Oh, that's a
From
Yeah, I was
fantastic
gonna say
EQ. So that
Uh,
helped.
that's the one thing that I would say that Avalok has is that EQ into a
but
Chandelure
look at the
team.
fairy resist on an Extra Chicks team. We don't know if it's specs. I think it's Wish Tech. Oh no, it is Wish Tech. But even then, like, dude, your fairy resist is a poison dark, and it's tasked with checking everything else.
Yeah, I mean, maybe it's AV
Banded
Gallade.
That's
Stone
the
Edge.
issue with Muck, man. Muck is just not good at checking everything.
Banded Stone
Just
Edge
real.
was pretty strong there to make some kind of progress. You go back into the copper on the knock. Great double to the lug to get the spin off. But the recover,
I mean,
Decidueye Leaf Storms.
the
Yeah.
thing is, Avalok kind of owns this matchup now. I guess that that's the Raptor there forces the switch because the Avalok's only at 30.
Yeah. The Leaf Storm was pretty tough.
Terrablast
I don't
there is interesting.
leftovers. I think you always Iron Head here. Very nice. And I think the play that needs to be made was knockoff. You obviously look, Terra hasn't been clicked. If we go back to turn 29, like Terra hasn't been clicked yet. You don't know what this Glade is, but Axortix is preserving it, right? And you're up
Yeah.
so far, and it's like,
Why did
dude,
he
if
Terra?
he's
Why did he
not
Terra
agility,
Fire here?
he always loses, so
Oh,
as to
the
not
agility.
take so much from Ironhead. So if he Terra or if
Right,
he
right.
is not agility, he always loses in this situation.
Yeah,
So
for sure.
so you should just knock off or Whirlwind if you have them, and then you win pretty much with Star Raptor and Bandit EQ and stuff.
I doubt he had
Uh,
Whirlwind, but he probably had knockoff.
He for
mhm.
sure a
So let's see.
knockoff. Everybody is knockoff.
Yeah, if you're
Yeah, I
not
don't think
running
you would
knockoff.
drop knock for anything.
I don't know
Knock
what
And
is
that. I
so
don't
such
know what.
good
Oh yeah,
utility.
it is Scopelands, right?
I believe so. Nobody's revealed whether or not it is. Crit there did matter, but it's kind of hard to stave it off. Like, what are you clicking there? You're clicking Wish. You're at like 20%, maybe even 10. You
Yeah,
protect, then what? It's like, dang.
yeah.
So
You really have no clean out.
I think the big turn was not acknowledging the potential for an agility resist Gallade, but that's such a hard click, and it was just
Also, I
Axortix
don't
could
know if knock
take
even
advantage of it.
wins here.
Well, it stops it lowers the crit chance, right?
It would
So
lower the crit chance, so it does
Hmm.
impact.
it was better. I mean, maybe if they had Whirlwind, maybe that was the best click ever. But
Yeah, if you have Whirlwind, you just click it there. But I
Yeah, you
because
for sure always
then you
click
get a
where
kill
one.
with you always knock off on the whatever.
yeah,
It was just I liked Nunez's team. It seemed very of his style of team, like the type of team that I would expect. The type of bulky offense that's super strong and a random wish Sylveon.
The one thing I'll say about Nunez's teams, like that bulky offense style,
Mm-hmm.
he's will buy. I mean, we saw this in SCL. You remember that Peru Giraffe game? It's abusable by things like an agility Gallade that are just strong Pokemon that just like flip the table and are faster than everything
Yep.
and run through it. Like, those are really good bring. I mean, that's the type of thing that I would recommend to bring in general to Nunez.
I agree because if I'm looking at preview, I see lefties Muck and AV Gallade. And I see
Yep,
Swords Dance Light Dog as my breaker or potential win con.
100%.
yeah, for sure.
And but even by the way, even look at SD Live Dog inside team. If you can find a place with Hera to get an SD off,
Mm-hmm.
it's over.
That's
Potentially.
true.
Yeah, because
That's true.
there's really nothing for teenage to do. Like maybe Sylveon is the best check, which is kind of sad.
Yeah, and then you run into the throw chop like in Rock Dog, and then you super lose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Back to
Is
the
good.
Vivs Q-Bones, I think, right?
Yeah, but I think
What other
we're pretty
interesting?
much done covering it.
It
I mean,
wasn't
I don't.
really. It wasn't such a great. Like the truth is, all most of the Cubones wins. Maybe even all of them were like kind of hacksy, and
The
the other
Lilo
games like
game
didn't really.
definitely was. I mean,
Eternally finally used the Pokemon that he complains about literally every time the Sun Moon game
Yeah,
comes
we
up.
finally used it.
He finally
Um,
used it, and
I mean, like
it
our
won.
game was you obviously watch.
It put
Yeah,
insane amounts of work. That crit was pretty unfortunate, but
I don't
yeah.
think it
Like, well,
even mattered
I don't
that
know. None of the games
much.
really
I
were.
mean, it
I think
did
the one thing to
actually,
note
but
from here is that our prep into cheese and sun is very apparent. Um, and like it worked. I felt like I think that there was a likely world where we end up going 10-0 this week.
maybe.
You
I,
know?
I
yeah,
think I think you can never really predict that.
No,
I think
no, you can't.
the Welliu game versus Lilo was a fun watch from an outside perspective, but it ended up coming down to us getting energy ball Spadef drop twice in a row and our Talonflame getting crit. And so those
Yeah,
were the things that made the game unwinnable.
right.
When it was an otherwise
Obviously,
really, really even and well played matchup from both, I think.
yeah.
I like Willow though. I'm glad Willow got a win.
I don't I want us to win every game.
I mean,
Ever.
that's true. I think Welly, he started off 0-2. He's out this week, but like I think that he's a great player, man. I think he'll
He is.
bounce back.
He is. And
Like our SV core is so good.
Yeah.
the self glazing is crazy.
I'm digging to the self glazing. Like who beats us, bro? This week will be the I think our well I'll save that for the predicts.
I do think our team is pretty good. I was
I think there's a lot of really
other than
good players.
Soko, everyone has won a game, and
Who's your bench? Like who would even potentially slot in?
so the benches right now is Banks, and then we have Soko on the bench now, but we have Acid and Diamond's Realm came in for this week.
Oh,
That's interesting. I like
cool.
them both. I don't
I
know how they'll do.
We'll
Yeah,
find
I
out.
will. I don't know how either Acid or Diamond's Realm would do in tournament. I know that I got Fish
Wait,
because
should we
Fish is the
transition to
goat.
the predicts at this point?
Yeah, we can transition
Start with
to
your
the
series.
predict. So this is interesting because there's two matches already played. Um,
Yeah, but we'll ignore it.
If we
so
just start
Wait,
off
just
with y'all versus the
yeah,
my
start
pre-
Absols,
off with you guys.
my
let Slice and
predicts
I predict.
10 and 0.
Mm.
Obviously Dianthus win easy. Um, all of their team sucks.
Let's do this, Slice. Okay. Starting with SV1, Dread versus Rob Jr. I think they're both strong pilots. I'm really struggling to find a way to get and build strong teams from the Absols. So I'm going to go with Rob just because I assume that you guys will make a strong enough team to deal with whatever
Yeah,
shenanigans they're going to bring. What do you think?
I'm gonna agree with you on that. I think
Okay.
that, and this is probably gonna be a trend across all four of their SV.
Yeah.
And I think we can talk
Yeah.
about it more with like Mata probably in Diamond Realms, and that
hmm
matchup could be interesting. But like the team choice from the Absols has just
We should
not
just
been
make
there.
a post with the predictions as we do it.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
you want to write it up?
Yeah.
Go for it.
Okay. Well, I can't right now. I'll do it later. Whatever.
It's-
I'm on my phone.
oh yeah, fact.
Okay.
Um,
Okay.
You know what? You know
Nunez
what?
versus
you want me to
Fish.
do it? Here, I'll
I'm
do it.
gonna
I'll do it.
I'll do it in the stream, and then I'll let somebody else post it.
Nice.
Okay, I can post it.
Okay.
Should I?
So
Here, I'll just.
we're gonna. I guess we have to remove tags.
I think there was a predictions
Nah,
thing.
There should
there's a
be. Yeah,
predictions format.
there's a predictions
Although I
format.
kind of like the idea of tagging everybody. It's a
Yeah, that's
power move.
fire. Okay,
Um,
so predictions format.
Okay,
We're
we
gonna
got Rob
bold
over
Rob.
Dread. Then I'm going with
sorry.
Nunez over Fish. I feel I respect Fish a lot as a player. He's a good friend of mine. I feel like there were quite a few mistakes in that game that maybe I'm being a little bit too strict about.
It's one of
But
those
Yeah.
things where it's
but I
like
think
he makes mistakes
and
that NU players wouldn't make,
mhm.
but like, in the context
I
of
think
like,
yeah.
it's not like the worst play, but you can see like little things that just add up.
So I'm gonna go with Nunez just because I think he's gonna
I
build
think
himself a
also
great
they
team.
dropped 30K on Nunez. Like
Yeah, he's got to win.
He has to win, even if you bowled against him. Like he has to end 7-3 or whatever,
Hopefully.
5-2.
Otherwise, what were they doing?
Yeah.
All right, Mata versus Diamonds Realm. I like them both. I got to go with my friend Diamonds. Maybe not. Man, if I'm being objective, what do you think, Slice? Like, Mata's
Here's what I'm thinking. It's tough because I like diamonds, and um, that's kind of it. But they're also really like unproved. Like this is probably the tour, probably first team tour they've been in, right? They're definitely first in NU. I
it's
don't
their
even
first
know
tournament,
if
I
there's
think. They were
yeah,
a ladder. He's a ladder dude, and
right. Obviously,
we kind of convinced him to get into to sign up for BLT, and then this. I don't think he got picked for BLT. I don't remember, but
right. So I don't
but
know. Like I want to bowl with him, but also Mata is just like more experienced. But the issue is that Mata, I just can't get past Mata's team and the
okay.
team choices, and
So
like that's why I'm like
we can go with
I
Diamonds.
want to go
Cool.
diamond. I want to go
Cool.
diamond.
All right, Keo versus MJ. Man, I have a feeling. I have a feeling that Keo might lose this one, but Keo should win this one.
Yeah, we sent Kyo to the Farmers League after that timeout. So
Yeah, you should. Yeah, no, I feel like you got Kyo's just he's been in good form, and there's nothing else for him to say.
If he doesn't time out, then he should be good.
Okay.
Master Chief versus Faded. Man, I haven't seen anything
All
insane
right.
from Faded.
I will.
And Master Chief played in SSPL, and he was pretty decent.
Master. Yeah, I'm gonna also bold Master Chief on this one. I think here's the thing. Like Master Chief has more experience in the tier and is getting better teams with help of yours truly, Mary Berry over there. Faded. I don't know who built their team last week.
their team last week was not it. That explode set could
It
have
was
been
not.
anything else, and
Was,
it would have
but
been fine.
yeah,
I do
they
know.
just
I would
killed
like
their
to know
issues.
that like Faded is working pretty hard.
Yeah,
I've
I think
talked with
that's
them
true.
before, and they're like actually trying to learn the tier. It's kind of awkward when you haven't played the tier before, and there's not much real support unless Ziri and Nunez are
Yeah,
going crazy.
I
It's
feel
I can
like
so
try to help
I
them.
feel like
I have a lot of empathy for that.
Faded got a little shafted because they definitely just drafted Faded Charm thinking it was Team Charm.
Yeah,
Gee.
for sure. For sure. Are they
Um,
online? Anybody know their alt? Because Faded Charm is online. Okay, maybe I'll DM him after and do some
so
tests with
Ziri
him.
Ishtar, I gotta go with Ziri. If he brings a team that isn't Mono lose the Sigiliv fastest Mon 322, uh, then he is the better player most of the time. And like Ishta has a lot of like prep ability. Like they're very good at prepping. I
How
just
do
don't
you
know if
prep
they're as
last
good as
week's team?
I just don't know if they're as good as Ziri in play. Right.
I don't think
Zeri's
you
the
have
goat, man.
I don't think you can prep for last week's team because then you're just gonna say, oh my
I
gosh, this team loses to everything.
I'll just say bring a Sigiliv, and if it doesn't pan out, it is what it is, Ishta.
It is
Like
what it is.
or as
We've also brought two in a row, so
then maybe they won't bring fastest Mon Bandit Togepi tomorrow. Uh, I
One
just
can
think
only
Gandra's
hope.
playing so much better. Innovamania had a good. You guys played Mana Many last week, right? I think that's what he played. Who he
no,
played?
we played against Fiend.
Oops. Innovamania did win.
Gondra,
I like a
yeah,
lot of the things Innovamania does. Like I've been in a lot of team tours with him. But Gondra's just very strong, and there's not much stopping that. Bughouse Finch is a 50-50 in my opinion. I want to go.
it'll be
What do you
funny.
think?
That's
I
what I
want to.
know for sure. It'll be funny.
I want to go Finch. If Bughouse loads his stupid Venomoth set, maybe he'll win.
No.
That shit smoked me. So, uh, but
No, dude.
I think loading Venomoth definitely increases the tilt factor because I feel like Finchinator sees OG's team or like a bad Pokemon and he just
mhm.
he just starts seething.
That might be true. Yeah. We already watched
as the
DPP
as the
game.
manager of Bughouse, are you saying that we're gonna see a bad Pokemon?
I'm saying I'm just saying that we already loaded a Kangaskhan that could not touch Haunter into a
Yes.
Haunter, and they never went Haunter. So
That's true.
I think
Like-
that he assumed it had to be Scrappy because
Duh. Yeah.
but it's not compatible with Wish. So
Right.
I mean, the only way you're gonna know that is if you just know the tier and
you just
you
know.
build with the Kangaskhan. Like, the DPP game already happened. We can kind of talk about it if you guys want to. I don't know. It was just
Now let's have
Van
next
Sun.
week.
There we go.
I think I would take H Soa in this matchup.
I think so too. Like, just
Just based off of experience and name.
Yeah, that double focus
in this tier.
blast. The double focus blast miss was a little unfortunate, but
that was pretty lame.
Was
kinda
there a
made
double miss?
Not as much of a game because that was one setter that would be gone, and that would be absurd.
yeah.
Did you guys have a third setter? I don't remember. Like a mono setting Victory Bell or like self setting Victory Bell or something.
It's probably
think so.
self setting. The thing is,
Oh,
he
it might
didn't-
be
he-
setter Skuntank.
It could be setter Skuntank. He didn't post the team, but like everyone kind of knows the team.
Yeah,
So-
I've seen it before. Good game, HSO, or however you pronounced it earlier.
I said H Sawa.
H Soa?
Is that how you do it too?
relay?
Oh, shit.
Yeah, H Soa. I don't know.
That might
There's
be
no
it.
right answer.
Medea haste
I
up,
think
man.
I'm
I
thinking
gotta go with
haste
haste up.
gotta go with
So,
H Soa.
What do we get?
What
What
does
do we
that?
give?
What does that count come
Okay,
out to?
That comes
6-4?
out to 6-4. So the DNCs win.
Yeah, that
like
makes sense to
like
me.
usual. Like usual.
Right. What happened
That's
week one?
usual.
I-
Yeah.
Let's not talk about that one. I think
Week one.
if
that was a good- that was a good-
Buckhouse just clicked the right Pokemon, then
I think
Kush
that I
Kush
think this
Actor
week
Ticks
though.
also already happened.
We're moving on. Okay.
sorry.
Actor Ticks won with a pretty
I would
pretty
pick
cool
Actor
team.
Ticks.
Tier
I-
Asa.
He's starting to find his stride. which is
Honestly,
pretty cool.
I don't know how well what Tier's record is. I know he had one last week.
He's 2-0.
Okay, so he is 2-0, which is interesting, but I don't think he played particularly well last week either.
He played pretty well week
no,
one. I will have to note
Mm.
I'm a bit biased as a friend of Tiers.
Mm.
But
I think he definitely. Sorry.
he's prepping a lot.
Mm.
He's prepping a lot.
I can't get behind those wins. They shouldn't count.
Well,
Neither of them were
week
real.
one was better. No?
Week one is. Oh wait, I got Mata and somebody else confused. Who they play week one?
Yeah, Tier like super owned week one with like Slowbro and stuff.
Okay, he brought a walk-on berry something like Slowbro.
Yeah, it was a
Very
really
slow,
bad
bro.
It was
Slowbro.
a bad team, bro. It was not a good team.
Look,
Yeah.
I'm like,
I'll pick Tier. If you guys pick Asa, it is what it is. That's my pick.
I think Tier.
I don't
makes
even know. I don't know
sense
if I want to
because
pick Asa either.
Tier knows the meta. Tier has been provably doing well at 2-0. I think Asa. The thing I will say about Asa is a better pilot overall, but I don't know if that's gonna if that's gonna matter in NU because Tier is a better NU player.
Yeah, Asa has been improving a lot as a player over the past year, from what I've seen.
And she's
but
been farming
I like
PU
Tier.
and CU.
Asa's a PU. Yeah.
Well, Asa really should have showed up to their ZU World Cup game instead of forcing us to sub in someone and lose that match, and now we're in ZU World Cup Finals tiebreak. So that's why I'm predicting Tier.
Nah, I'm predicting Tier.
Yeah.
No, I'll predict.
I'm just playing, but
I'll predict Asa. I think. I don't know.
Stretch Floss.
This game doesn't move me.
I'll probably
This is a
lean
highlight
Tier
match.
as well.
Ooh,
but
2 highlight matches. 3 highlight matches this week. Whoa.
I think
Four.
I
Oh my God.
probably favor Floss over Stretch, but it's very
Really.
it's hard because
I think it's going to come down to team choice.
I agree.
I believe in Floss to build a better team than Stretch, but I think that it's kind of weird Stretch has been very active in the meta, which is
He's been
surprised
playing
me.
a lot, which is surprising because he's brought two teams that were already used before him.
Yeah, for
So
sure.
from what I understand after talking with him, he's just like, these teams are good and I'm going to use them because I've seen them work. And I'm like, I respect that. And he's a really, really proven pilot.
Yeah.
Floss is a very proven pilot as well. Will Floss build for himself? Probably, maybe.
I think so. Who else is building on that team?
It would be.
It's like
I mean,
DXC
Floss,
Dugsa
GXC.
or
I
like
forgot Doug's was their
Phantom.
manager.
Please don't use.
Oh,
No, I'm playing.
Phantom's there.
Now,
No, no, Phantom's
Push
not
is
there.
building. They got a lot of builders.
Okay, fine. I take it back. You're right.
I think this is definitely a more even matchup, though.
This is definitely a highlight one for sure. I don't want to do the versus signs because it seems kind of pop out. But if I had
you gotta pick
a
one.
gun
You gotta
to my
pick one.
head and I had to pick, maybe it's Strish. Oh gosh, this is hard.
Slice, you can tie break.
Yeah, tie break.
I'm picking Floss.
Okay. Well,
Floss
we'll go Floss, but this could go either way. The only reason we're not doing versus is because it's pussy.
Exactly. Yeah, I didn't want to say that, but
100%.
yeah.
No, it's true.
Okay, and
Yo,
I think
Eli.
the thing
Another
is,
highlight.
this is
Great.
a good matchup, but I don't think, unlike the last
I
one,
don't know
there's
if
no
Elias
doubt.
knows what's going on,
There's no
man.
doubt in who to bold here, right?
Yeah, it's GXC.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
bolding
and-
Elias though.
You can.
you can bold Elias.
I remember SCL like a lot. I think it takes like 2 weeks. Elias is figured out.
Dude, when I
I don't
prepped
know if
for
he knows what's going
Eli
on.
in SCL, it was the
Bro,
easiest
that
prep of all time.
Elias was crazy.
It was the easiest prep of all time. And I
He
got the
still
prep
was.
on the dot. We played on Wednesday or Thursday or something like that. And it was so easy. If he deviates even a little bit, it could be a more fun matchup.
The
But
thing
if he
is,
sticks with the same type of stuff,
Elias has
Mhm.
On
proven
him.
that he is willing to load the same shit as he did 4 months ago because that's what he's comfortable bringing. So it's like
I
It has to be
will note this
GXP.
point for Eli. Eli will bring comfort, and GXC will go out of his way to prep, and so that
Yes.
could hurt GXC if his prep is
We've
off
seen it
even
before.
a little bit, right? So
yeah.
we've seen that when GXC loads off like loaded offense versus stories in SCL. Even though he's comfortable with most play styles, right? But
Right.
he ran into some tough matchups and wasn't able to do well. I think he lost another game, maybe not. I don't remember. Did he? I don't remember.
I don't
But
remember
I don't know.
exactly.
but yeah,
know-
I think his prep will be spot on, but there's a
Man, this
chance.
whole
And there's
series
a
is
pretty
exciting.
large chance.
yeah.
Damien OBB.
Oh, this is another highlight match to me.
This is.
I'm picking Damien.
I think
Really?
Damien's
play.
probably obviously Ob knows more about the meta, but Damien
So-
is probably a better pilot.
So
I
this is
actually-
some,
here's
this is
the
some
thing.
outside knowledge, right?
Okay.
Damien is a good player, but he horribly threw in ZU World Cup Finals versus Manai.
Oh,
And for that reason, I will be bolding OBB.
here's my thing,
So,
okay?
like, horribly. Like,
OBB,
continue.
like
sorry.
how bad? How bad?
Like, okay,
before bold
let me
Damien.
paint the situation for you. There's a ride-on that comes in after Amon dies in front of a bombardier, right?
Right.
The bombardier clicks knockoff.
How much health are we
as the
talking?
ride-on. What the ride-on's like 75 takes spikes, so it's like 60 something. The ride-on takes the ride-on rock polishes, and the bombard gets the knock,
Mhm.
and it's in range of sucker, right? It
Right.
suckers as the ride-on clicks rocks, right? This is from Manai. It suckers again as the ride-on rock polishes again. It
Okay.
suckers again as the ride-on rock polishes again, and then Manai clicks Stone Edge, and it doesn't sucker, and then it sweeps the game. Now, you might think that's just a 50-50.
Right.
There was one
Sounds
click
like a
that would have
50-50.
won the game for Damien. It was just go hard Electrode Hisui on the ride-on.
Oh, but he let it.
But he let it rock polish twice.
Twice.
Now, the first rock polish you can excuse.
Yeah.
Of course.
The second one,
Respectful.
you're never clicking EQ there. You might as well. And you have the sucker in the back. So it was just, But otherwise, he's a really good player. He won a SS seasonal. I just think OBB is really in form in SS, and I think he's gonna win. But that's just me.
Yeah, the thing is also on the +2, you can click knock off again, I believe, because does that not? I guess I'm trying to track it. I don't know whether it kills.
Just knock off and then
You
and then go
outspeed
into-
Bombird at +2, I think.
No, you outspeed, but
Wait,
Electrode
don't you
Hisui
just click
outspeeds
knock
at
and then
+2.
yeah.
That's true. You're right.
Okay, so
So if they
okay,
attack
well,
you, then you could just
well,
knock off. Yeah.
in defense of Damien, by which I mean we're gonna trash OBB. No, so obviously Damien has been around. It's not like we're talking. It's not like we're talking about two people, one of which has actually played the game and one hasn't. When it comes to SS here, like Damien's played SS in a lot of tours now. Like he knows what's going on. OBB's building and also he's good. And by the way, and even though I think I beat him 2 or 3 times now, I think I have a 3-0 or 2-0. I have a 3-0 record against OBB, I think, and a 2-0 against Damien, maybe 2-1 against Damien, whatever it is. Like Damien has outplayed me for a lot of those games, and I've just made the plays at the end that needed to be made. Like I think he's a good pilot in the tier, and I think he knows what's going on. I think OBB's building, and like I love OBB, and like I've hyped him up, and I'm his #1 fan. His building for this tour has been horrendous, and I just it has to lose. Like he's 2-0, and like the games make me mad. You know what I mean? Like when you load into a game and you're like, fuck, not that.
I feel like this is one of the SS pools where he might get away with it.
He gets. I think here's the thing. I think he gets away with it versus majority of players. I think he gets away with it versus Faded Charm, Master Chief, PC,
You. Wait.
TDNT, Roxy. I don't think he gets away with it against me in the same way because my style build doesn't like would beat him.
Yeah.
And I don't think he gets away with it versus Damien.
I will say this.
That's
I might have overestimated the SS support coming from GXE and from Dugza, considering that they both that Damien just reused teams
Yes.
for both weeks. Now it's 2 weeks in, so it's not like
to be
it's
fair,
not like
reusing GXE teams probably means you're bringing a good team.
for sure, 100%. And it's week 2, right? And do you really need to build for the SS pool? Probably not. So
but
like
he can build too.
But they all can build. So like, yeah, that's probably a pretty good Damien click. Even though I'll disagree.
I'm picking Damien.
And
Lax LPZ, we have a pretty clear click in my opinion. But
the thing is, you kind of have to predict Lax, but this is the kind of game I could see LPZ still winning and putting Lax at 0-3.
Lax, I'm picking LPZ.
I feel like
I got Lax.
I'm with that. I like the upset.
I think the upset has good odds here. If you were betting with odds, then you would like LPZ would be undervalued. Like I think LPZ has like a 40% chance to win here.
Who would build a team for LPZ? Where's he getting teams from?
He's definitely recycling in some way, which I think Lax can take advantage of.
But I want to find out where the source is for his teams, and I'm still unsure. It's a combination of like Kuzio
having like other people's teams too, and also I'm sure that LPZ also has a backlog of teams that he's stolen from other team tours.
Well, so how motivated is Lax?
I'm cool picking the upset. I'm cool picking
how motivated is Lax to rebuild? Do you think?
About as motivated as the majority of the Sun Moon pool. Not at all.
I think Lax.
So then I don't think it's a big issue.
I think Lax is building. I'm not sure.
You think so? I think he wants to win. I think he wants to win. Like, I mean, I don't think
I
he's
don't know
just
whether his team this week was a reuse or not.
I've never seen it before, but I mean, it just looks like a typical Sun Moon team, but with an Excel board.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on there.
It's not a very inspired team, but
okay, we can pick the upset. It's cool.
I don't mind the upset.
All right.
Okay. I can do the
All right.
I can do the upset.
XRN Qs. XRN is a really good player.
XRN is a good player, but I feel like you have to pick the number 1.
It's his tier, bro. Like it's not.
Okay.
It's not. It's gonna be hard for him to lose 2 weeks in a row.
Tack Fogbound Lake.
I don't know, man.
I really don't
not
have much
paid
to say
attention.
about the Horas
I have
personally.
nothing to say.
Yeah, I
And-
mean, Zern is good, but
Yeah.
They're all good. It's just like I'm always gonna Bullets quiz, even though I know he's not gonna win every game.
Yeah.
I still don't know how good of a pilot Fogbound Lake is because people rate them very, very highly.
He's an OU guy, right?
Yeah, he's one of their OU German players, and
And he does Ubers as well, right?
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
he does. I like a lot of the. Sorry, I like a lot of the stuff from Tack.
I think Tak just knows the meta, and she is very accustomed to the weirdness of it all and building in it. And it's like I don't really know if Fogbound knows how to play Black White NU. I don't think it's like that complicated because like if you have a Garbodor, you're probably doing okay. But
Mm-hmm.
there's still like so many weird things that happen in Black White that you just kind of have to know.
Yeah, I just don't know. I think Black White to me is always a coin flip, unless like I don't know if there's anybody who's really like that much better at Black White. Like
I mean,
Shiloh's
like
not
the
playing.
thing
I don't know.
is, Shiloh, Finch, and Bughouse like have
But
a
like
clear
even
advantage
Shiloh
over
has
everyone.
bad tours in Black White. Same
Yeah.
with Finch and Bughouse. Like
It really like any game can go either way basically. There's no unlosable games in Black White because everything is so ridiculous and hacksy, and there's perma hazards up, so you can't really switch.
So who are we deciding on?
We both said tag, so I think it's tag.
Okay.
Yeah,
I can get behind that.
Yeah.
DPP, I'm going Manai.
I think Manai is the better player. I don't know how much I rate Manai in these tournaments, honestly. Like there's
I think he's a very good pilot, but
I think he's a very good pilot, but I think that traditionally in like NUPL type of stuff, he hasn't done like super well.
No, he hasn't done great.
So it's like, it's the piloting aspect of it compared to whether you think. But I don't think Ariana Grande really knew much about the meta before they played for this pool either.
I feel like
I don't
they
think
have
so
played
either.
before.
And it's like I trust Manai as a pilot over Ariana.
Yep.
All right, fine. I can get behind that.
ADV,
You know
this
what?
is a pretty
I do
clear
think
real.
Haryana is still probably like like almost near the upper half of this pool. But yeah,
Maybe I'll have to look.
for
I
sure.
think
I
Real
don't
even
OP
know
is
the
just
pool.
better, right?
Yeah, and I've
I think
never
that's
heard of
pretty
Phil
clear.
Mason before.
I have. They've been around.
They're fine, but it's like Real OP
They
is better.
joined June 20th, 2023. They've been around a block.
You're right.
Yeah, so true. Okay, this
29
was a tie.
from the Midwest.
So this is if you predict
right.
Lax, like probably you should, then it goes to the Foxes. But Lax is 0-2,
Yeah.
so
All right, you do ours.
okay.
Yeah,
I have to
and
do them. I
we're
have to do
gonna
them
sit here.
alone.
We're gonna sit here. We're gonna.
I will speedrun them because I don't have like
No. Really put
elaborate
effort on the
reasonings.
first one and the fifth one. That's about it.
Right. I mean,
Okay.
to be fair,
It should be a fun.
yours is a highlight. It's probably the best
You think
SS
my game?
matchup. Yeah.
I agree.
No, I think Damien OBB is the best matchup SS this week, but I think we're second. I play TC in like an hour, by the way, probably.
Oh,
Yeah.
dope.
I probably bowled you because I
No,
know for
you're jinxing him.
I know,
No. Bolt
I
TC,
know.
Bolt TC.
Okay, I'll bolt TC. I know for sure this is probably not something I should be giving my potential opponents information on, but I'm sure you already figured it out. TC is just recycling teams. And
yeah, no, of course.
It's also very clear like which teams they might recycle. Like they have a very clear scout, and it's like literally they loaded the same team that was the first team on their scout in like
And then they loaded my team, which they've used a lot of times.
yeah,
It's
they've
like,
used that electric terrain, and it's like
not gonna lie, we should probably look at the scout.
yeah. I think that would help.
all right,
Speed.
And I will bolt you, not just because you were in call.
Oh no.
but because I just trust you over Skier.
We play on Thursday, so Thursday evening.
The thing is, Toother has been doing pretty well. I
This
don't
is a fun
really,
matchup.
I don't really know.
Can we add
I
some more
I
context
would
here, just because
probably.
nobody knows this? Truther requested specifically for this matchup because
He
he
said he wants
wanted.
to play their best SV, the best SV.
I don't think this is their best SV necessarily, but I think.
Yeah,
You,
we let him have it.
yeah, I mean, I'm
Yeah.
not opposed.
I think
Wadley
is
is
better.
best.
Yeah.
I think Wadley's,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think
yeah.
Wadley's better too.
And that's what this is a fucked up matchup. This is so.
That's such a good
Which-
matchup.
These are great matchups, man. I didn't really take a close look at it.
I mean, it's just the best SV, which is you guys versus the second best SV. And it's like I think they're doing better right now
They are.
Yeah,
because
they're 7-1.
they're 7-1.
We're like.
But you look at the
Or wait,
context
no,
of
that's wrong.
the
We're like
you look at the context of the
5-3.
teams that they played. They played against us, which is like they did well and they 0-4'd us. But they played against the Absols, which is not a very good SV, and they went 3-1. So it's like
So what's
Here's
your
what I
verdict
think.
on the second one?
I probably rate BJ higher, but I think Toother has been getting a lot of like team calls right. I think that just one of these has to be wrong, you know? Like,
Yeah.
I feel
I
like
agree with that.
Toother has kind of been carried by loading Ambipom into Sun and and loading Cacturn into Slowbro. It's like that's not the type of stuff you should be running if you want to get everything in the meta. But it's like Toother is just betting on his matchup in some sense. I think Cacturn is a lot more like generally useful, to be fair, than Ambipom.
Yes.
Yeah,
ZS Wadley.
he's got a matchup right.
CS
like,
Wadley, I don't see a world where
Oh.
I don't bold CS here, but it's like Wadley has been hot lately. So this game is gonna be really interesting. Obviously, it's like yada yada. I would
All
bold
these games are gonna
the
be
versus
interesting.
if I could, whatever. I think it's probably just ZS. ZS is so good. It's very hard to predict against him. And I'll go for plot armor.
Wait, can I say something
and Shin-
about
Shin's also
like
too,
why
yeah.
I think the Plumes core. I mean, they've been doing really well, but I think they're kind of riding success for like two reasons. Number one, like he doesn't have the most consistent records in these tours. Like I don't know what his records have been, but I think they've been largely been, just below 500 or just like or 500 give or take. Like he's doing really well in like the third slot or I guess the first slot this week, which is like has been helped them a lot. But the big thing has been Engineer, which I kind of clowned in the auction as like a way overpay, and I still agree with that. Like I don't think
Yeah,
he needs
it
to drop
definitely is an
14.5.
overpay for
But
somebody
like
that
he's been really solid against like the fourth slot in so far the last 2 weeks, which has been like if you can have a guy who is more consistent against like the worst player and is your probably worst player or just most unproven player, that's a big deal. And I think that's why they're doing well. I think this is going to be the hardest challenge for them by far yet so far. Whatever something English.
Okay.
yeah.
Since we already did Slice and you guys are about to play, Etern FC. I don't really have to say anything.
Yeah, I mean, there's no saying anything. FC, if this was Evigaro, it would be an interesting matchup, but it would still be a clear bold. With FC, it's no bonus.
God willing, right? God
I
willing.
also think the thing is, Fiend is. I would normally bold Fiend over Trade, but I think Trade has Eternally support and is also like has been clearly trying a lot and has been winning games, and Fiend has not really found their footing yet in the tier, and they don't play the tier very much. I know that I've heard that they're trying and they're like building the tier, so that's more than I expected, honestly. But I still think that it's definitely
Trade is my go, and he's been very
It's-
awesome
it's-
helping
it's
out in
probably
SV tests. So I like it.
I have no fucking clue
Yeah,
what
trade's
to
cool.
bold here.
I like trade.
Okay. Okay, never mind. I gotta stay quiet because like we'll influence your decision, but it's like
Yeah. Anything.
I think it's probably just you probably just bold Helom again. Like you probably bold left side. But I think
probably because
if it was Lily, even though she was 0-2, I'd probably bold Lily.
Yeah,
probably yeah,
that's fair.
of course.
But I think Silao unproven in the slot, and I don't know.
I will say this: if I were objective, I would say Shiloh support versus Lily support, which is also really tough. But is Lily really supporting? Is the question.
Yeah, I don't
I
think it's
feel
Lily
like no.
support. It's more like Rabia's
Like
support,
Lily-
honestly.
After getting benched
Taking a step
just for an
back.
0-2, which is a bit harsh from
I
Awen in
think-
my opinion.
I think
Not a bit. It's extremely harsh and very irrational. But go for it, my man.
I think that he kind of has been freaking out from the 2 losses with 7 SV wins. I think
Yeah,
it's kind of broken him
but that's like-
because
It's not something to freak out about. You could do like lineup changes or whatever, but like if you're winning in SV, you're 7-1 in SV, and you just need 1 or 2
Old
lower
gens,
tier
yeah.
wins
Yeah.
to like, and you have good players. Like if you look through the squad from past
yeah,
weeks,
like
when I go on it,
Abigaro, Lily,
like these are people who can win. Like you maybe like if you want to put more emphasis, like what I would have done as manager is, I don't know. Number one, that's the type of situation where you have to try to keep a positive attitude, right? Like you just have to keep everybody up and motivated.
You
and
have
be like,
you
yeah,
have
we're
to be
so
you have to
close.
be hype about that SV success,
Yeah,
and then say, look, I mean, we got to work a little bit harder, but that's it, right? Like
yeah.
you don't
Right.
have to get rid of your
You-
2 most expensive and best players in the old gens.
I think
Uh,
I think the thing that they could have done. This is probably what they should have done. Is obviously I know the reason they couldn't have done this week is because Rabia had to sub in for
Bambadoro.
Bambadoro. But what they
Right.
should have done is they should have moved C to Oras and they should have put Rabia in ADV.
I agree.
Yeah, 100%.
And I
That-
think
that would have been
that
pretty
changes
prudent.
to the losing slots. Rabia is obviously a very competent ADV NU player, and C is a very competent Oras NU player. And it's like you get C out of that environment where they aren't doing very well right now, and
Right,
you
you
get
should mix
Rabia
things
into
up.
it to mix things up.
And you keep your
I'm not a fan.
lineup pretty intact. I can't
And
attest to
you
anything
keep
about
morale,
the culture
like
in their team
yeah.
forward, but I will say
I
like
imagine it's great.
subbing out 2 very big names in Smogon does not
I have
bode
to
well for
I have
like
to imagine a lot of it is because he didn't like how much they were prepping, which was 0. Because
If that's the case,
I know
if
Lily
that's the
reused
case,
the
you
team,
push
and I
more
think
prep.
Evigaro reused the team.
But
Yeah.
that's more an issue on like a manager not really pushing up with it. But we don't know anything. But like
Yeah.
I just think that this feels like a tank. Like this feels like you're already giving up, and you're like, okay, like we're just gonna put in the bench the people who I'm not liking right now, or not prepping the way I want, or whatever is going on, or not playing great. Because they switched up basically everybody in the old gens, right?
Yeah.
And then like now what do you do? Like let's say you win the week or you tie, and you're not out of it. Like there's a lot of Mons left to play, but now your 2 best players like have no motivation to come back in.
and
just-
when you eventually do try them back in, because I feel like that seems mandatory,
Right.
you develop potentially a
Yeah,
not friendly environment, right?
It's a
But, like,
weird environment now.
it's
This is
if
a
you
weird-
lose, I'm gonna sub you out, so don't lose.
It
And
feels
that's like
like a really weird move.
Yeah, and I think like a player like Evigaro is not gonna care much about the tour after being subbed out week 2.
nah.
No,
And do you
neither would
blame them?
Lily.
It's like
Dude,
like-
I mean, we
like-
saw the
like,
comments.
let's
in
look
the,
at my
in the
week
NU
1, like,
Discord,
like-
right?
like my
Sorry,
week
Friday.
1, I get 6-0'd by GXE, right? I'm like really mad about that, right? And I felt like the prep call was off, the matchup call was off, we did a lot of prep, like we tried a lot, but the matchup call was wrong, and it ultimately came down to me not being decisive on my team choice, and then E-Turn saying this is what you should load, and it didn't work out, right? So
Mm.
but what happened after I lost, I was kind of like, oh man, this sucks, like blah 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 blah. But then we all just started talking about it, and we started working towards it, and we started like working as a team, and that's what you're supposed to do. And now I'm over it, and I'm
Right.
ready to. I want to play GXC again in playoffs, right? So it's
Yeah.
like,
By the way, same thing happened this week with me. You know, I was beating myself up because it was like I last second decided to load cheese instead of teams that I had been looking at or testing with or whatever. And every other team I would have brought would have won the week. And then I got hacks and it was an ugly game. And it was like I could have just been like, yeah, I'm done. Raged and called it a day. But it was like honestly, who was it? It was
and
you
and,
and it
and
was
that
Viv
that
and it was
I'll
that's
Eternity
not
and
even
Shiloh and you guys were
necessarily,
like,
yeah.
nah.
I'll interrupt this self-flatulation to say, I think this would feel a little different if you guys were losing. So
That's true.
Nah,
You're right.
nah.
No,
That's
she's
true.
right.
No,
Yeah,
you're right. You're right.
I
yeah.
Yeah, we
think
are hating. We are hating a little bit.
I
If we
think
were losing, maybe I would definitely be
I
more
think
upset.
I think
Yeah.
I think I get
We
Owen's
are on the
reaction a
board.
little bit because it's like 7-1 current gen, going 4-6 2 weeks. You now have 2 losses. You have 0 points, and like you need to basically win out. But it's like if you want to win out, you should be trusting in your best players until you can't.
Maybe, yeah. I
Right.
agree.
Until
think
you're out of the tour, somebody's like 0-5, and you
And
just like, okay, we'll mix
while
it up.
you guys were talking, I bolted Vivalos because I think it's hard to
Yeah.
build against him.
Oh, crap.
Just with like he has a lot of experience in the tier, and I think Rabia has a pretty good shot because I don't think that Vivalos is like maybe top 2 in the pool, and it's like he's not like amazing. It's like there's no fatty in the pool. There's no haze up in that pool.
Right.
No bug
There's a lot of the DPP pool has really gone downhill recently. It's because like people don't want to play it.
It's because people are playing other tiers.
Yeah.
Like the people who could play it, like H-Up and Bughouse, I have them in Black, White,
And
and ADV.
Beraldo
And Beraldo doesn't want to play it anymore.
Yeah.
And then I bolted C because I think C has to bounce back. I mean, like she's like a very good ADV player. I think Parpar is very decent. I rate C higher. I think if she loses this one, then maybe you could say Pat's performances were a fluke or her prep is just being like bad this year. But it's hard to say. I think she's been a little unlucky. I'm not sure. She also got like pretty bad matchups. Like obviously she played into Haze Up last week, so we'll see.
Yeah, I think
I have to give
Parpar
them
was
something.
Great value, man. I think
Yeah,
Parpar was a good value pick on our
Parpar
part.
is an amazing ADP pick for you guys. I mean your entire team is amazing. The only question marks I had were Oras and Black White, and those are like, those are fine. And Trade is performing. So
Yeah.
I mean, it's undeniable that you guys are like a super team. So
Our team's pretty cool.
We just gotta lock in. Like we can't rest on our laurels on week 2. So it's like that would be.
You guys can do that. You guys can do that.
Yeah, we have
I'm sure you would. I'm sure you would appreciate that. So
we already played.
Oh yeah.
Wait, did we? No.
No, we haven't. What are you talking about?
What? Oh, we play next week. We play next week.
Yeah, we do play next week.
Who did we play week 1?
The fabled foxes, Ninetales.
Oh, we crushed them. Nah, I'm joking. I don't remember that. I don't remember the week at all.
It was a fun week. I will say this is definitely a highlight matchup, and this week in particular for us is a make or break week, whether or not we are the
big week
that people think we are. Right?
Week.
Yeah.
If we underperform or have difficulties, it's gonna be like it will be a reality check. So it's like there we go.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and the Plumes need something at this point.
They do.
Well, here's to crushing their dreams.
Amen.
Okay, so
the rare Two Bones versus the Snorlaxes.
I think that this SV highlight is actually like a highlight, but the
playing
thing
a half hour.
Mincemeat is not gonna have
good
teams.
Okay. I'm gonna go with the Franklin, and I feel like Stories is prepping a lot in SV. I mean, I know that they are, and then
I think you still go
saying
Ninja.
too much.
over.
I think you still go Ninja, and then I think you obviously go Stories over B13 Costa.
Yeah, I don't know who they are.
Lilo Twinkie is kind of a toss up in my opinion.
It kind of is. I think
I
I'd
like
give.
Twinkie better right now,
Yeah.
but that's just me. You think it's Lilo? I mean, Lilo's more proven in the tier, but
I think I kind of lean Lilo, but I'm not sure.
you know what?
Whoa.
Maybe
Twinkee's
you're right
recent
because
You say
performances.
Lilo?
Like,
You just throw me
I
off.
mean, Lilo. I guess it is Lilo because it's Lilo and Stitch.
Is it?
actually his name is Test.
Yeah, his name is Test. But
I don't know why he switched. That was so good.
I think
I
they
mean-
made him change it.
No way.
I
don't know.
don't think they did. But
No.
I think
Oh, really? It wasn't
if you're
your stepbro
if you're going
situation?
for like slight recency bias, Twinkie is the bold. But I also think that like of these players, Lilo has to win.
Oh my god.
Lilo kind of
Really
has
tell
to
me.
win for the Cubans to have any shot.
I think
Yeah.
I have liked Lilo's or now you got me. I have liked
Oh,
Lilo's
Ninja's
teams-
in this week.
I have liked Lilo's teams better just because it feels like the prep from Twinkie last week was, hey Danny, can you pass me a team? And I was like, all right.
Yeah.
And then the week 1 team really just turned me off with Resto, Chesto, Muck, and what was it? Walk on Slowbro. Like with like look, Roxy cooks. Roxy builds pretty creative teams. If they load a team with too many techs, it will get beaten. If they load a team that is more consistent
Walk
and
on
more
is stupid.
yeah, well, yeah,
I agree.
yeah. If they load a more consistent team, then they will be they will have a better chance to beat Lilo. But I like Lilo too. You're right.
I think Lilo is going to be more consistent, but I think Twinkie definitely has shown that he has high highs, but you can definitely see it going wrong.
TDNT Roxy, that's a tough one.
I think
Although,
I'd bold TDNT here.
I think I bold TDNT.
I mean, TDNT
Man,
is 2-0 and he's doing pretty well. He
This
has
one's really
he has
interesting,
wins
dude.
over the two. I guess not the two hardest players in the pool, but two of the better players in the pool. No,
Slice and who?
Master Chief.
Oh
It's
yeah.
like that's definitely
Master Chief's probably 4. Yeah.
probably 4, and it's like you can put TC at like 3 or 2.
Yeah. I think
I don't know how high.
I think with Ninja teams, then TDNT will do fine.
Yeah.
So
That's
I
all I
can give
will
a
say.
little insight on that.
If they load
because I
somebody
was
else's
talking to
team,
him about
then
it,
will work.
and the way he's basically picking his teams is like they basically have just like a bunch of paste, and he's like, here, pick something at random. Like there hasn't. It was last week or when he faced me. Like
The
that's
thing
the
is,
end
you
of
also
that
have
Danny
to
team.
remember that Ren is their manager, and Ren is like one of the
Yeah.
most active
No, that's
SS
what
builders.
That's what Ren did.
They can
That's
be
my
one of the
point.
most active SS builders. I just don't necessarily rate their builds that high.
That's
Yeah,
fair.
that too. But like that was like the thing. I mean, I was talking with him. I'm probably if he reaches, I told him to reach out and like run teams by me and like test and stuff. So we'll see what happens. Like I'll make sure it's probably not too bad if he does that. So I don't know. This could be interesting. And Roxy,
But at the same time, maybe
I
Ren's
think I
teams
value
will be
TDNT
fine.
more as a player.
Ren's teams may be fine against this pool. Like if it was SCL pool, it would be different. But
Yeah, for sure.
Right.
That's
Right.
the difference though. Is like
You're
you
right,
Look, you
yeah.
look at this pool, and it's like Ren's teams are gonna wash like shitty Vaporeon balances.
yeah,
Yeah.
I also haven't
maybe.
seen Ren build post SCL, but I don't think there was much post SCL 2022. So it's like
Yeah.
there wasn't any SS really. So yeah, but obviously TNT in my opinion. Hansuki Watashi is a fun matchup. It seems like the Cubones are trying to win now, so that's inspiring.
Right. It feels like they
Um,
figured something out. Right.
Yeah. I mean, this is the fodder slot because
I mean, Hansuki is not a fodder in my opinion.
well, no, Hansuki isn't a fodder. The thing is,
But
Hansuki is
Watashi.
like. I'm just saying they took the reason they took Mincemeat out of SM is because Mincemeat was 0-2, and they were like, fuck it, Mincemeat is probably going to get more wins in SV than in SM, and we're going to put... It's like Hansuki isn't fodder, but they are still obviously the weakest player in the pool.
Yeah.
And that's not an insult to Hansuki. That's because this is best of 3 light new game plus.
Maybe
edition.
not with some of the changes in the Sun Moon pool, but that's
like
a different thing for a different day.
Yeah, I mean, FC being taken out is the main one, and like
it's weird, man.
So it's like Havoc versus Poe, man. I love Poe to death, man. That's my guy. He has really had a lot of difficulty in these team tours. Can he win versus a player who hasn't played that much ORAS? Yeah.
I don't think this person has played much. Period.
I have heard good things about Havoc, so I'm gonna pick the upset, but that's just me.
I don't really. I have no clue about Havoc at all.
They're new. Havoc is new. I don't know how they ended up in ORAS. And like by new, I mean like
new to the site,
like you new to say like a young.
Okay, but look at the rest of the ORAS pool. Other than Kuziel, like Kuziel and Gondra, and then I guess maybe Zern. It's like
right. It's not exactly moving you, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm cool with the Poe pick if that's what y'all
I'll
are
take
feeling.
I'll take the Poe pick.
I just like Poe, man.
And I think you probably have to bold Ruber here, but I think SPPC is like he'll do fine. He'll hold his own, but I don't know why they keep changing their black and white.
Well, I think that it's
how was Roxy doing? Wasn't Roxy 0-2?
No, Roxy played 1 game of black and white, and then Stories played 1 game of black and white, and now it's a different black and white.
I think it makes sense to put Stories in SV. I think it considering the fact that ROM 1X has struggled so much, it's fair to give Roxy a chance in SS. Does that mean that SPPC is the best pick for black white on their team? Maybe, but it's like
I think on their team it is.
Yeah, you're right. But I do like SPPC, but I think Ruber's better.
I think that SPPC is more of a confusing pick for their team in general than like.
True.
That's the only thing, but it's like if Roxy isn't going to be in black white, then SPPC is going to be about the same. I would say about the same level, maybe a little. I would probably better.
Like. It's a shame that they have to mess around with SS when they have such a good SS builder on their team.
Yeah.
But I know that Tog doesn't want to play SS, so it's like.
Yeah.
Why doesn't
and do I blame them?
Want to play SS?
Like.
Oh, SS. Oh yeah, no.
But I'll bold.
Okay.
I'll bold.
I thought you meant SV.
Does anyone object to Ruger?
Nah.
No, I think Ruger makes sense.
And I think these last two, it's just a Plague Dog has shown no signs of life, and Jabba is like competent.
I think it's definitely a 2-0 in the old gens.
Yeah,
and then we call it a 6-4.
Well, the thing is, this is a lot closer than.
I think so.
But it's still like this is not. Shitrock and Joyer is going to be loading Brazilian teams and doesn't really understand ADV and you. And Ima is one of the most seasoned players.
Yeah, I think this matchup can go pretty much either way as well.
Yeah, I think this matchup is a lot closer.
It's definitely weighted for the Snorlats quite a bit. If for some reason there's like a massacre in SV where the Cubones just go crazy and win 3-1 or God forbid 4-0. Then there can be something happening.
Yeah, but and I mean, like you can always count on Hansuki to possibly have an upset, or Havoc Knight could win here. We talked about that.
Yeah,
and Shitrock and Joyer definitely has a chance. I don't think Plague Dog has much of a chance unless Jabba doesn't build an actual team. From what I've seen.
All right, so that's it.
That's it. Okay, I'll give this to you, Slice.
To who? To me?
You can give it to me. I don't care. I'll post.
I don't care.
Okay. Who wants to react?
Whoever wants it. I'll give it to both.
I'll take it.
I got it.
I'll take it. I'll give it to both of you.
All right, Danny. I'll take it, Danny.
You'll race to post it.
I don't want to do that.
Should we? All right, Danny. You put. I'll post it.
You focus on your game here in a couple minutes.
All right.
Yeah, low key. I think I play in like 25.
Okay.
I could probably
Alright.
DM TC and be like, "Yo, you want to go?"
Is that it?
That's it. I'm gonna stop the
Are we
recording
good?
now.
Cool. All right. I got a dip.
All right, I'm gonna go
This
make
was
myself dinner before my game.
this was a lot of fun.